desire to play most like fresh releases when they're new. That's a really rare thing for me. Like I was very happy I did that with Keep Talking and No One Explodes, but there's very few other examples of that at all. And like probably 2/3 of those other examples are because generous viewers opted to donate them to me, like with Undertale, for example. See, now I'm like looking at the list here, like what else? Let's see. No, Downwell was discounted still. I'm just like, I'm finding something to distract myself from the puzzle. Like maybe when I look at it again fresh, it'll show me something different. Oh, I guess Rebirth. I did get on Rebirth pretty early on, because they were giving a discount to people who had already owned the other Isaac and stuff like that. So it just made sense. So we got Rebirth pretty bleeding edge, and I mean I don't really regret that, but I'm still disappointed in the end result. Did you later, Gamma? Oh, I had it minimized while I'm looking at stuff. I forget there's little bits of animation on the screen that make it feel less alive if I kill indirectly. I guess Necrodancer was a gifted one, so got in on that pretty early because of someone hooking me up. I don't think I have Star 2 unlocked yet, ZZT. I mean, there's some games that, like, again, way back in the day, I may have, like, pirated when they were pretty new, but then bought, not too, or I bought when I could afford to, basically, like VVV, and Super Meat Boy. And I probably bought VVV, like, 5 or 6 times at this point, too. Both just like as it ended up in bundles or for giveaway copies or whatever, gift copies, etc. Yeah, Hoff, it's definitely kind of weird how stuff like that can work out, where it's like, huh, well, I mean, that's definitely, like, directed the fate of the stream in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, we played frickin' 55 hours of Shovel Knight, got into speedrunning that a bit because I was gifted a copy of that. And, like, if that hadn't happened, I don't know if and when I ever play Shovel Knight. That's a fantastic game. Chronometrics, that helps, but it doesn't guarantee things. If it's gifted to me, like I've turned down some gifts because I'm like, I'll just be honest, I'm probably never going to play this. I could give it away to the stream, or you could just not get it for me. Like that, I try to only accept things like that I think there's any chance of playing any more. Although that wasn't how it was originally. Like, there's stuff that had been gifted before I was partnered that I've never played because they're awful games and I probably will never play them. Yeah, those are over my junk folder, I guess. Some of those, like, there's one Square Enix game that was, like, really bad, right? Let's see. Yeah, you know what? Fine. We're doing side discussion. I'm gonna bring it up on screen instead of just having it sit on the other screen there. I'm okay with that. Take a quick break for side discussion. Yeah, over here the junk. Let's see. I mean, I guess I actually played McPixel, but that's a pile of hot garbage. That's not actual time. That was left on for the cards at some point. Played like an hour of it. That is garbage. We did play Secret of the Magic Crystal, and that's amazing garbage. That's a thing of beauty right there. Never played Time Gentlemen Please. I don't. Or did I play? I may have actually played 20 minutes of that. I don't want to play any more of that. Maybe they're in the almost junk. I'm thinking of some specific things that I'm not seeing here. Because most of the other ones there I've actually played. Hey there, Devin. We've got Darkest Dungeon, Blackfire. That has been gifted. That's right down there. Yeah, it's always that's something I always find very interesting. Like just how much I mean, the flow of somebody's life is constantly being affected by everyone around them. Like, literally everyone here talking in chat is affecting the flow of my life, and I'm affecting the flow of your guys' life. Often, that'll be in a very minor way. Sometimes that'll be in a very life-changing, significant way that you never could have possibly expected. You actually liked McPixelov? I can see liking it. Like, if you're in the right mood for that, just like constant pile of just silliness. Spleen. So junk both includes stuff that I will never play. Like, I see no reason to play, like, these offside, like, little, Half-Life 2 things and stuff like that. And, stuff that I've already played and have no intention of ever playing again, which includes Half-Life 1. I do think Half-Life 1 is pretty severely overrated and doesn't live up as anything terribly impressive today, but it wasn't, like, awful. That's the same with Limbo. Like, Limbo is definitely not awful, it's just not good, and there's no reason I would want to play it again. Likewise with Amnesia, we played that on stream, and it was fine. It was very, very mediocre, had a few interesting things, wasn't particularly scary, and had bad mechanics, and was just kind of whatever. Like, it wasn't awful, but I'm not going to ever play it again. Thomas Was Alone. Yeah, so Thomas Was Alone, I don't like this game. Thomas Was Alone is not a good game. It has a lot of potential to be a not bad game, but it's not good. So, it's got a very good narrator. That's like the one thing that's good about it. The actual narrator that they hired does a good job of narrating. I like their voice and it fits well. The first half of the game is not too bad, I would say. The first half of Thomas Was Alone is not too bad. About halfway in, the level design in the game takes an absolute nosedive straight into the ground. It's some of the worst level design I've seen in games in general, to be honest. Like, it's just atrocious level design in the last half of it. And that combines with the fact that they're like kind of trying to tell this this kind of interesting narrative, but gameplay doesn't go with a narrative whatsoever. It's gameplay is completely at odds with the narrative, which really ruins the experience as far as I'm concerned. I think they could have made gameplay fit with narrative, and they even do in at least one part where the, like, let's say square guy that can't jump very high, that he has like the lover of the long the bouncy pad chick, and there's a section where they, like, those two specifically need to work together back and forth to proceed through, and that's cool. But that's the only spot in the entire game I saw that happening. In other parts of the game, they introduce Team Jump. It's a bunch of little cubes that, as long as they work together, they can accomplish any task or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. Like, so you have to move them to work together to get where they need to go. And then immediately, the very next level, that is completely thrown out the window, and they all just move by themselves to get where they need to go by themselves without working together at all. So that's why I don't like Thomas Was Alone. It just doesn't do what it's trying to do well at all, as far as I'm concerned. And then as just a basically it's bad as a combination of gameplay and narrative, and it's bad as just gameplay. And yeah, it also doesn't help that it doesn't control super well. But and Devin, Rayman Legends is on the big old list of stuff to maybe play sometime. I'm affecting your life by ruining your sleep cycle. Exactly, Cavno. Exactly. Why would I have no reason to play the unstable version. You're probably just pointing at things to freak out over for no apparent reason, but. Antichamber is fantastic, Hybrid. I love Antichamber. I mean, Ritzel, that's largely what the Almost Junk folder is. Almost Junk folder stuff maybe I could play sometime, or I played it and maybe I would play it again for some reason. Like, there's not much reason for me to play a version again, but I could maybe see it. If I do that platformer marathon, I might play a version again for that reason or something, but Undesirable. I like that one, Hybrid. Yeah, exactly, Devin. Like, I think Half-Life did probably do some pretty great things for its time, but it's like there's really not very much redeeming that I see about it. Just played fresh today. Like, and it wasn't like awful. It was still okay. It had some interesting story going on, and the way that story is presented, like as not a separate cutscene. It's largely through the game itself is pretty cool, and that's the thing Half-Life does well. It just is not a very good story, and the gunplay isn't very interesting to me, so there's not a whole lot left. Games to be disappointed in. Put Rebirth in that category. Beautiful, Will. Beautiful. Hey there, Deal Beta. Yeah, we've played Bad Rats on stream before. I don't remember if I ever made a command to link that, because that comes up in conversation a lot, but no, we don't have a command for it. That's okay. And Devin, you can actually delete stuff permanently from Steam now, if you are so inclined. But yeah, like, more Almost Junk, like, there's no reason for me to ever play Her Story again, but that was a great game. That was a great experience. I'm glad I played through. But I really won't touch it again, I don't think. And then, like, I haven't... Ignore that. I have not actually played Oregon Trail. And probably never will, but maybe I could be convinced. Lots of little things like that. Lots of things like that. And then, like, Civ 4, no reason to play that when I can play Beyond the Sword. I'd rather just play Beyond the Sword instead, rather than base Civ 4. All of that sort of jazz. So you don't accidentally buy them in the future. That's reasonable, Demon. That's reasonable. I mean, I haven't deleted games from my Steam library either, but it really feels like I should delete, like, some of this stuff here. Like, Zombie Driver, you can't even buy anymore. Like, there's another version of it or something you can get, but this version is actually not possible to buy anymore. It's just gone. Yeah, I played Cube on stream. It was fine. It wasn't bad, wasn't anything amazing, but it was worth playing. enjoyable enough little light puzzle game. Pulse. Well, Llama Chomp owns Pulse. Okay, nobody else does. Yeah, that is definitely one of the most obscure games that I own and played on stream. That's a game that I accidentally kickstarted. One of the only things I've ever kickstarted. It was kind of neat. It wasn't really worth the full price. Wasn't anything too special, but yeah, they got to make what they wanted to make, and it was unique. It was unique, if not particularly good, and unique still has some value. You like the idea of Cube more than you like playing it? I can see that. How can you accidentally kickstart something? Well, that's the obvious follow-up question. Accident is not exactly the right word. Just being stupid is kind of the correct word. Basically, I was like, hey, that's a cool idea. I kind of want, like, this to succeed. But, like, with how much time is left in the Kickstarter and where they're at, it's clearly not going to succeed. But I at least want to, like, help show my little bit of hope in their direction and be like, hey, here's $10 more towards the Kickstarter to raise that total that isn't possibly going to reach the total you're aiming for. Just to bring it a little closer, you know? About the stupidest reason to kickstart something of all time. But, it ended up reaching the goal, and then it's like, oh, I guess I'm actually kickstarting that now, aren't I? Oh well. It's not 30 minutes deal beta, but it's like 90 minutes to 2 hours, thereabouts. It's certainly not long. I was like, hey, we'll do a stream of Pulse, and then, like, we took a break, like, what ended up being, like, right near the end, the first break of the night, we come back, and then it's over. It's like, oh. Well, I guess we gotta figure something else to do now, but... Is that actually what it was? Target was 30,000, it reached 30,009. Well, it was more than a normal last-minute rush, Demon. So there's an early rush and a last-minute rush, but it was like, with 3 days left, it wasn't even halfway there or something like that. It was. I'd seen enough Kickstarters and how they've gone in general that it was not going to make it with any sort of normal situation. And in this one, I assume there was some specific investor or someone from the team that just wanted to make sure it got there anyway, or some like mild level of shenanigans and chicanery. But regardless, like, it's not like a big deal. Like, I didn't have much in the way of expendable income at that time, but it's still $10. It wasn't a huge problem. It was just kind of weird and it was surprising. But, I mean, if I'm putting the money in, I should definitely be expecting or able to pay it if it actually gets there. Yeah, I've done Psychonauts on stream, Cafino. Psychonauts is pretty good. Psychonauts is good. It's mechanically kind of meh, but it's got some really good humor that I enjoyed thoroughly. Hey, there's Axels. But yeah, like, I think I've got probably one highlight from it where we bugged out one of the final bosses of the game of Psychonauts. And it just bugged out really badly. More recently, I've been trying to highlight pretty much all of my like playthroughs of games in general. because I've noticed that I mean, there's a decent number of people. It's like, hey, have you played this, Twinge? Like, I can actually say, hey, it's highlighted, check it out, instead of like, yeah, we streamed it a long time ago. There's no way you could possibly see it because it's gone forever. And I've also noticed when I've been looking at some other people's streams and stuff that I've wanted to find, like, oh, hey, this person that I like watching stream, they played Undertale a couple months ago. Oh, but they didn't highlight it, so it's gone forever, which is really a shame. Which is a shame. Finishing Steam Backlogs an impossible game. It's not an easy game. It's not an easy game. Let's bring back up the playlist here. Where are we here? Oh, right. But we're going to try to at least pare down that list a little bit in the upcoming year or something. So that'll be a project to some extent, but we've got all of these which I've never played, and I guess like 3 of those are not Steam games, I think, but everything else is. All stuff I haven't played, all stuff I'm interested in playing at some time, and I think that is a pretty good system we've got planned. That we'll have supporters of the stream put forth votes, and those can go on a randomizer, and then we don't even know exactly what we're gonna play. So, like, some of these are like, I saw Hoffington play this game, and it's like, hey, that looks like a fun enough little platformer. Then I find it for like 50 cents or $1 or something in a part of a bundle. It's like, okay, alright, I guess we'll pick it up. It's probably worth playing sometime, and then hasn't happened yet. The adding to has been slowing down somewhat relevantly, I would say, Cafedo. Depends on, and like, there's some borderline stuff, like Blood of the Werewolf is probably not very good, but we could do like half a stream of it or something, and it's probably worth at least checking out. And if we go, like, with a determined effort to, like, be like, okay, touch on that half a stream, boom, touch on that half a stream, done. This, probably, like, half a stream, done. This, maybe one full stream, done. Half a stream in there, another stream here. Touch on that for one stream. Like, a lot of these can be done in, like, one stream. This is maybe, like, 3 streams or something. Well, depends on all the episodes. I've only got episode 1, but we'll check it out at some point. At least checking that out would be like half a stream. Obviously, some of these longer ones would be several streams, but depends on what people actually want me to play. You think the boss got killed by a cutscene by accident, Hop? Interesting. So I don't own Pony Island, Ritzel. Pony Island is along with, like, The Witness in that category of, like, hey, I should probably play this sometime, but I don't own it yet, so it's not on the list yet. Same place Beginner's Guide is. And Convoy... I did add Pony Island. Yeah, there's Pony Island. That should be higher on the list. Phew. 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 Right there. Alright, Pony Island number 3. That makes sense. But yeah, I expect to play 2 through 6 at some point. And then from there on, it's a bunch of maybes. Lots of maybes. I mean, that's $20 retail. That's not worth $20. That should be up a little bit too. out there. That's fine. But yeah, Pony Island, I think the way I described it last time, it's like I'm under the impression that I should play Pony Island, and I've actively avoided watching other people streaming Pony Island, and I intend to eventually play Pony Island, but it probably won't be anytime soon. So that's where Pony Island is. Hey there, Tall Timber. Yeah, exactly, Demon Hunter. Like, when I first kind of started on Steam with Steam sales and stuff, it was like, the world is my oyster, look at all these amazing games! And then over time you start building up this library of ones you pick up through bundles and sales, and just because they're really good games that you wanted to play. And then you've got over 300 games on Steam, and then it's like, okay, there are still good games I don't own, but that's a lot fewer and farther between. There's good new games still being made, but again, it's when you've already got the all that backlog, it doesn't add up nearly as quickly anymore. I'm afraid not, Elsnick. Quick Crypt expansion is not essential. I don't know if they ever even fixed the thing where you constantly get stuck on the terrain in the game. It's a little annoying when stuff like that isn't fixed. So Braid is, yeah, I don't know. So I played through most of Braid, and I found it, It was okay, but I didn't especially like it either. But it's well regarded enough by people's opinions I respect enough that I am strongly considering replaying it at some point and see if my thoughts change. Like, it's not that common, not that often I have that like mindset where it's like, okay, I might be wrong, I should relook at this sort of thing, of something I've already played through, but there's a few cases like that, and that's basically where Braid is for me. Like, it's quite possible to like it more and find more value in it. Yeah, I can see that, Chronometrics. Like, Convoy's in that spot where, like, hey, it's like bad FTL, but bad FTL is probably still fun for a couple dozen hours, and probably worth playing some of, but not enough that I'm going to dive on playing it. So it's like, if someone really wants me to play Convoy and gives it to me, I'll try it out, or if it gets cheap enough, I'll try it out. But until that happens, I'm not super excited about it, especially considering the mindset of the devs. As far as stuff like just purely bad choices, like false choices that are always bad to take, the devs have entirely no problem with, and there's a lot of those in the game, and as far as I'm concerned, that's just bad game design in a roguelike. Oh yeah, the save at the bottom half, yeah. I definitely screwed that up a few times on the wish list. Yeah, Demon Hunter, mine's split on that as far as wish list goes. Like, okay, I will very likely enjoy Beginner's Guide, Pony Island. Those are very likely. Jackbox Party Pack I just think is a good thing to have on hand that we could throw down on some multiplayer on stream once in a while. Very likely I would like Renowned Explorers. Gravity Ghost has music by Jeremy Soule, I think it is. So, like, on that reason alone, I'm interested in it. And I think it was... maybe it wasn't this game. No, that was another game. No, Ben Prunty. Yeah, Ben Prunty did the music for Gravity Ghost, the guy that did FTL. Okay, yeah. So, on that reason alone, whether it's... whichever good composer it is, I'm interested in it. The gameplay looked kind of cool, but, again, not enough to pull the trigger on. We just talked about Convoy, and then from 7 down, it looks like those are more stuff that's like, Yeah, those could be good. I don't know a lot about Neo Scavenger, but it's been mentioned a few times in passing as something that would be interesting to check out. Sunless Sea, I've played kind of a lot of Fallen London, and it's kind of terrible, but it's still interesting enough that could be fun to just narrate on stream sometime. Star Wars Rogue just came out, and it's by a company that I both really like and hate at the same time. Not hate. A company I like and dislike at the same time. That's more accurate. Arkin there. That tends to make games that are kind of cool but horribly flawed. But they also made AI War, which is also fitting that description, but it's more than kind of cool. It's very cool, but still flawed, rather than kind of cool but really flawed. Verde Station is probably kind of stupid, but next time it goes on sale for like $1 or something, it might be worth just streaming. And it's best knowing as little as possible about it, as far as I know. So I don't know. Kind of it sounded interesting enough. Castle in Darkness is pretty cheap, and it's a platformer with some decent music, which is kind of enough reason for it to be on this list. But it probably has other stuff I don't like heavy backtracking and some bad game design in various areas. So. But a lot of that stuff kind of falls in that category. I've actually removed some stuff from this list that, like, had been on there for a while that's like, no, I don't think I actually ever want to play this. Someone mentioned Nihilumbra earlier. I don't know who that was. Sorry, I forgot to comment on that earlier, but that was one that had actually been on my wish list for a while, and then I'm like, it had been $2 at least like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, if I haven't bought it for $2 any of these times, I really don't actually care that much about this game and playing it. It seemed like a very mediocre little experience that would be fine, but nothing special. I should play Pony Island Blackfire? Okay, thanks. Thanks for this. And yeah, Mother 3. Mother 3. I'm still afraid. I like this is my comment. This is my comment too. Better than Earthbound ? So Earthbound is also technically on this list with a little minus next to it, meaning I'm not very enthusiastic about that idea, but so anyone that doesn't know, I played about 5 hours of Earthbound and it was not good. It was grindy, tedious, boring, not funny, not engaging. I didn't enjoy the music, I didn't enjoy the plot, what little of it there was. But again, it's so beloved by so many people and so influential for, you know, great games like Undertale that I still feel I should give it a little more chance. 5 hours is a lot of chance for it to show me some reason to keep playing it, and it didn't show me that reason in 5 hours. And it also has the worst inventory management system of any game I've ever played, which is quite an accomplishment, to be honest, but, it's got a lot of problems, but it's got so much love behind it from so many people that, I don't know. I might just end up, like, watching, I know Slackaholic has played through it recently, I might just, like, watch his playthrough of it, or something like that, just to, I don't know. I feel I should experience it in some fashion. I might just watch it in someone else's playthrough, but it's in a weird spot where it's like, I really don't like this game, but there's got to be something more of value in that game that other people find in it that I have not seen. So it needs, I need to find that. And yeah, Elsnick, I've gradually been building up a variety of other neat stuff that has not been shown on any of my Undertale playthroughs yet, that a lot of people have never seen. Including at least 1 or 2 things that I have never seen and don't know for sure will even work, but I'm pretty confident in. Well, yeah. I've heard Jeremy Soule is not the best person to work with. But yeah, there was something that Jeremy Soule did the music for that I was like, what? I think it was this consortium thing that was like free for a weekend or something. And it was like, this relatively obscure game has the full soundtrack. Yeah, there it is, by Jeremy Soule. It's like, was that like 2/3 of their budget right there, or what? But it makes me more interested in the game just based on that, so that is a thing. I've played some Dwarf Fortress to Kinshuru. It's good-ish. It's good-ish. It was kind of neat. I don't really know that I'll ever play more of it or stream it, but I wouldn't rule it out either. Yep, that sounds like my expectation of Sunless Sea Chronometrics. It's kind of fun. Does a lot of really neat things and presents them really badly. That sounds a lot like Fallen London. Like, that sounds exactly like what I expect from Sunless Sea. So, catch you later, Capito. I was actually really surprised they did the Velocity 2X run at HADQ. Like, that is a long run for very repetitive speedrun content. Like, if that was like a 30-minute speedrun or something, sure. No, that's great. That makes perfect sense. But like, as the hour-and-a-half speedrun or whatever it was kind of like, this is really repetitive as a speedrun. That I found that really weird that they included it. And yeah, so touching back on Mother 3, I've definitely heard several people say that it does more interesting narrative stuff that I personally would probably appreciate more, and it happens sooner, and it's not as bad probably mechanically, or maybe it's close, but at least like the story is better or something like that. Like, it's probably worth checking out some fashion. I mean, I played Earthbound differently than I'm playing FF6, Will. But, like, you can see that, like, I don't want the random encounters. They're incredibly tedious, incredibly boring. And Earthbound's ones were even worse than FF6's, really. I haven't played Fallout 1 or 2 Introverted, so I don't know that it's worse. It's probably worse. It's definitely worse than Dreadmore, yes. I haven't played Battleblock. The fun thing to do there, yeah, would be the co-op. I don't know if, like, exactly the idea there. I've got a spare copy of this to go with the co-op. Like, got that whole set up, so I don't know if it would be a matter of, like, doing a giveaway to supporters or something and just picking someone that wants to do the co-op with me on stream, or... I don't know exactly what I want to do with that, but, That's a cool game from what I've seen, a little bit I've seen, and it'd be a cool co-op experience sometime. Soften, yup. Yup. I mean, Sword of the Stars of the Pit is basically worse than Dreadmore because it matters more, and it matters more kind of blindly. Like, you could actually go back and pick up your stuff in Dreadmore. You can't do that in the Pit. And you don't know the recipes in the Pit unless you're actually looking them up online, or if you played 100 or more hours of it to unlock the recipes in game, which is such a terrible system. The system still makes me mad. Yeah, the wizards, though, didn't even used to exist in Dreadmore, Elsnick. Like, Dreadmore's inventory system was improved over time. It's still bad, but it was definitely improved. Proctological, welcome. So, I mean, Undertale's item limit is like, almost there as, like, a callback to, like, make you think of other games, but it's not actually, like, an issue. It really is not an issue. You've got easy access to boxes you can store extra items in if you want to, and you really don't even need to anyway. Like, Undertale's items are just fine. It's not tedious or annoying at all. welcome back, Iridolima. But yeah, Proctological, I do very strongly recommend Undertale. Because we've only mentioned that once tonight. We gotta throw that down again, right? Best played knowing as little as possible about it, but really basically recommend Undertale played by anyone that enjoys games in general. By that I mean, like, if you only enjoy one specific type of game, then I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but if you enjoy a variety of different games, then I will wholeheartedly recommend Undertale to you. It is indeed a terrible night for a curse. Yeah, freaking Castlevania 2 is a bad game that I still kinda like. It's a bad game, but maybe I just like it because Bloody Tears is such an awesome song. Yeah, I think we talked about that already, Will, when you hooked me up with it there, but I've heard pretty good things about, like, this specifically does some stuff that's good. Like, it doesn't, like, have all the, like, repetitive looting of fights, or little things like that are done a lot more elegantly than most games do them, so it sounded pretty interesting based on that alone. What are we talking about? We're just talking about games. Bloody Tears over Vampire Killer all day, every day, Blackfire Spirit. I don't even have Vampire Killer in my playlist. That's what I think of that song. I think it's a decent song that is not anything terribly special. What now? Come at me. Actually, here, let's so now I want to sort. Where are we at here? Let's see. What all do I have from Castlevania? I've got Heart of Fire and Wicked Child from Castlevania 1. Bloody Tears, Rolling Dune, Monster Dance from Castlevania 2. Aquarius, Beginning, Mad Forest, and Scream from Castlevania 3. So that's what I got from Castlevania on here. Always love the Palace theme. JJ2? I don't know what JJ2 is, Dilemma. I have not played Axiom Verge, Will, and I don't think I'm terribly interested in doing so. Let's bust out some of that Castlevania tunage then. Oh, Jazz Jackrabbit, right. Eric, right. But yeah, Axiom Verge, I mean, yeah, it just seemed like a mediocre Metroidvania. Well, it seemed like a Metroidvania, how about that? It's a Metroidvania, and it has to be something kind of special for me to like it as a Metroidvania, because that's like already like a -2 to start. Rather than starting at 0, you start at -2 because you're a Metroidvania, which generally involves a lot of tedious searching and backtracking in a way that I no longer find worth my time. Interesting. The non-roguelike, non-Undertale game you enjoyed the most this year, Will? Did you play Keep Talking No One Explodes? Did you play Rocket League? Did you play Ori and the Blind Forest, which is a Metroidvania, but everything else is so good, it's fine. Did you play Her Story? Man, yeah, freaking 2015 had a lot of really good games. Those are the ones that come to mind right now. See, I used to think that, Draco. I used to think that, like, back in the day, like, when I first started getting back into, like platformers and stuff on the PC, I played Cave Story, loved it. I played Knit Stories, loved it. It's like, man, Metroidvanias are some of my absolute favorite games. These are great. And then, like, over time I played Super Metroid, I played Symphony of the Night, I played Valda's Story, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, this backtracking stuff, it sucks. It just sucks. This is not fun. Why am I doing this? It's like, alright, there's a whole bunch. I played Blaster Master, that's another good example. It's like, alright, these games could be fine, but, I'm just picking up a glorified key to go somewhere else so I could pick up another glorified key, and, it's not enjoyable. Didn't like Ori that much. Well, interesting. Interesting. And to be clear for anyone being like about to get outraged here, it's not like I hated Super Metroid or Symphony of the Night or anything. I would even say I kind of liked Symphony of the Night. I gave it a 7, I think, rating wise, but the Metroidvania aspects I still felt tended to detract from that sort of gameplay rather than improving it. Yeah, I've heard pretty good things about Shantae Demon Hunter. And Gunther, yeah, someone else asked about Lisa earlier. I didn't comment on that, so let's do that now. Lisa. I mean, if I played it before Undertale, maybe I would have liked it more. I haven't played it. I'm just like hypothesizing here, but like speaking of backtracking, I know Lisa has a lot of annoying backtracking. It's got BS situations that you can, like, horribly unbalanced combat situations, things along those lines, and some other narrative stuff that is probably pretty clever and good. But I'm very hesitant about the game because of the big downsides that I know pretty confidently it does have. It is certainly possible for the other narrative parts to more than make up for those downsides. That is a thing that has happened before and will happen again. To the Moon is my go-to example there. To the Moon is a game where the gameplay is so bad it actively impedes the narrative, but the story is still so good that it's worth experiencing anyway. So yeah, that's To the Moon in a nutshell. Proctological Tower Climb, so that's one on my wish list in the, like, maybe realm down here. I don't know about Tower Climb. I've seen a decent chunk of it played, and I've actually played Tower Climb back, like, years before it was released, when it was, pretty, early in its, lifespan or whatever. I think it was like a flash game demo of it or something at that point. I don't remember exactly, but I wasn't that impressed with it then, and then watching it played, I wasn't super impressed. I was a little impressed. It's like, okay, this looks kind of cool. But what I really, like, actually the biggest thing that put me off is that it seems like every full playthrough of the game, you're going through this, like, stupid section where you're having to, like, jump on these spinny wheels to like get through, where you have to keep jumping to keep your like weight centered on the wheels, and like there's this whole big section of them, and that's something you have to do every single full playthrough of the game, and that just looked like, that's something I don't even want to do once, much less every playthrough of the game. And that seems like a somewhat oddly specific reasoning, but I think it's pretty relevant. Like that like is a not like super huge, but still relevant chunk of the game every single time you're doing a full playthrough. And if for example, say, I don't know, the ice caves in Spelunky were really frustrating and stupid for me to go through every time, I would like Spelunky a heck of a lot less. But yeah. I mean, you can be to some extent consolidates later, and like I said, it's not like an automatic, like, there's no way I'll like this game. Like I said, I like Cave Story a lot, I like Kinect Stories, I really liked Ori and the Blind Forest. It's just something that I see as a negative. Like, it's a baseline negative, so it needs to do enough good stuff to make up for that negative. And for example, Validus Story, we played some on stream and didn't even bother finishing, because it's like, this is just not that engaging. I'm not that interested in finishing this. Oh, I haven't even thought about the snakebird puzzle, Elzik. I haven't even thought about it. Should probably update the stream title at this point, but... Z1 or Z2? I don't think so, Ari Dilemma. Don't sound familiar. Yeah, like, I can definitely see that, Will. And it can be executed fairly well. I don't even think it was, like, executed that well in Ori. I just like the rest of the game enough to make up for it. But, like, I guess I'll clarify a little further that that kind of relates to like exploration as a key gameplay aspect, and if exploration hits me just right, I really like exploration. I really like it if it hits me just right, but it isn't that often that it actually really hits me like that. It's pretty rare, I would say. Like, Minecraft is a good example of a game that has a lot of exploration that hit me just right, where it's like, I'll just hop in a boat and sail across this ocean, find this other cool, awesome place that has all this neat terrain in it, and like, what's over here, and it just looks cool. It's like, just a fun world to explore. And, I get that on occasion, but it's not that common. Like, I mean, again, if you talk to me about this, like, let's say 8 years ago or something, I would have valued non-linearity and stuff a lot more. But I I'm more of the opinion that being non-linear is solidly overrated, partially because it's just not implemented very well. If you have, like, non-linearity and the developer actually thought of this little side subtle thing that most people won't even think to check, then I absolutely love that. That's one of my favorite things you can do in a game. Undertale. That if it's executed really well like that, I love that, but just being open world is not something I value. I haven't played Tower of Gunzeri, not very enthusiastic about it from what I've seen, but it would probably be okay. Hey, Guybrush Fox. I can see that about Ironclad Tactics, yeah. Like, the main reason that's on my wish list is because I like the composer and the company that made it. Like, I like Space Kim and Evan that does the music for all of Zachtronics games. But I haven't actually ever bought it because I don't think it's probably a very good game. But I would still be willing to give it a try at some point. Oh, Zelda. Well, you gotta elaborate, Ari. Like, how am I supposed to know Z1 is supposed to be Zelda 1 instead of a game actually called Z1? Yes, I've played Zelda 1 and 2 on the NES. They're among my favorite Zelda games. Or they just are, I guess. I guess you could put Ocarina of Time next to them. All of them are like, these are good-ish. And oh yeah, someone like it's not uncommon for people to consider Super Metroid one of the best games on the SNES, but like I never played it as a kid, so I had no nostalgia for it. And playing it more recently, a couple years back, it was fine. Like, it wasn't bad, but it really didn't impress me. There's a lot of backtracking. Controls were a little awkward in a lot of spots, especially wall jumping was controlled like trash, and I hated it. And like, exploration was whatever, and that's the game, I guess. Really, at that point, like, it was fine. I didn't like hate it, but I don't think I even ended up finishing it because it was just like, eh. Yggdra Union. I have never heard of this, I don't think. Yeah, exactly. You can do LOZ, Demon Hunter. That would get me there easily. Not just Z1. Z1 sounds like it could be the name of a game pretty easily. A Zelda 1 speedrun. Yeah, not gonna happen, eh? You can watch Darkwing Duck. Watch Darkwing Duck if you want to watch Zelda 1 speedruns. He's a cool guy. Interested in playing FF1? Well, if we want to do terrible speedrun ideas about games that are bad... Oh, playlist on point! Playlist on point! Right there! If we want to do, speedruns of bad games that I still kind of like, FF1 would be high on that list. And that would be kind of my casual, speedrun, but... I wouldn't, like, rule out FF1, but considering it's a bad game, like, it's kind of hard to incentivize actually playing FF1, despite the fact I still got that nostalgia love for it. And it's got good music, too, but, like, there's not much reason to play FF1 from a modern stance other than academical, really. What do I like about Hanabi Aridolimo? So I like deduction quite a bit in general. So if deduction is executed well, I like deduction as a mechanic quite a bit. And it's a truly cooperative game, of which there actually aren't that many. They're either Hanabi or they're real-time, as far as truly cooperative board games. It's just executed wonderfully. It's incredibly elegant. It has very simple rules with a huge amount of depth, and it's a brilliant deduction game that you can play 100 times and still be excited to play more. Always loved the volcano theme. Saberwolf, I do have my wish list in approximate order. I do indeed. It's I think it's good to keep like the things that I'm like, let's say probably these really that I'm actually interested in versus all this other stuff where it's like, yeah, that might be kind of cool perhaps. Oh, I like social deduction games a lot too, Demon Hunter. If we want to bring up the man, I really need to refresh my beverage and take a break here. Like, don't touch the dial. I've been going drinkless for like 45 minutes here. My throat's getting super dry, so I'm going to actually be responsible enough to myself to take a quick break here, refill my beverage. But let's keep talking about games and stuff, and then figure out if we want to do anything else after that. Let's change the stream title and stuff. But yeah, I like social deduction games a lot, Demon Hunter. They're among my favorites. We'll talk about that more as soon as I return. But you can check out like ratings and stuff there if you want to look at that stuff a little bit. Actually, bring that up. But for example, Resistance right here among my 10-rated games next to Hanabi. But in any case, we'll be back in just a few minutes here, folks. I do need a quick break. Hope you guys are enjoying, well, the Snakebird and the casual conversation stuff here. But we'll be back to talk more about that stuff in a little bit. Maybe switch over to either a little more Snakebird or another game to finish us off after that. Be back shortly regardless. Okay, we are back, and there was definitely no indication that I was back prior to this exact moment. Definitely no indication of that at all. Anyway, back where we were here. Let's see. Where did we leave off? And, yeah, I'll definitely, try Hanabi when you get a chance. Yeah, Saberwolf, when you, have that many items in your Steam wish list, it's kinda like, whatever, I'm not sorting these anymore, that's tedious as hell. Yeah, I would not sort it if it was that big. Would not sort it if it's that big. And to elaborate, Demon Hunter, I've not actually played Secret Hitler yet. I would have if I had gone to AGDQ, but haven't played it yet. We'll find some time to play it online with folks. I know there's some people that have been asking me to play as well. Elsnick, yeah. Yep. But, yeah, like, Resistance is kind of weird in that to actually get, like, a group of people that are all invested in, like, playing the game enough for me to be, like, super excited about it, that's an extremely, like, that's a miracle, basically. It's like seeing a unicorn. But it can happen. And it's so good if it actually does. Like, I played some games on that level at Board Game Geek Con. Some of them with the designer of the game, in fact. But usually, like, most of the time if you're in a bigger crowd, it's like, oh, we're gonna play this 10-player game of the Resistance, and there's gonna be one or two people in the game that aren't going to say a bloody thing, and they aren't really playing. But it's still pretty fun in that situation. It's just not nearly as good. Like, if I was rating the Resistance on, like, the average game of the Resistance, it would definitely not be a 10, but this is its potential. This is what it can reach in the right circumstances. If you want to handle clue tracking stuff in person for Hanabi, we'll talk to Hyphenated. He, like, bought some stuff, like, specifically for that. If you're in person with Hanabi, you just play Unkilled It anyway. That's kind of funny. Had a Steam notification pop up. Oh! Alright, fair enough. Got a promotion at work, spread the love. Well, thank you very much, Saberwolf. Thank you very much. Alright, Renowned Explorers. On this list now. There's roguelike-y strategy thing? I don't know. I have not seen a lot about that game to have a better description, but yeah. That's I mean, and it's fine if players are louder than others, Jumpy, but if people are playing the game, I want them to be playing the game. And it's really frustrating when they're not. Like, it's one thing if they're just, like, inexperienced or whatever, and not that good or not that logical all the time. That's one thing, but if they're just being quiet the whole time, And then you like ask him, it's like, no, I'm just thinking about the situation. No, screw you. Talk. Talking's how things are discovered. If you don't say anything, you're not playing the game. It's not fun to play with you. And obviously, that varies a lot on games. Like other games, it's not a big problem. I mean, most board games are not going to break if everyone playing isn't like have the same intention. Hanabi kind of does that. Hanabi kind of breaks if everyone playing it doesn't have kind of the same mindset. Resistance kind of falls in that category as well. But if you throw down on just like a game of Raw or whatever, if some people are taking that more seriously than others, like whatever, that's not a big deal. Hey there, Broadx. Bywick, I don't actually understand the question. It was probably related to something that was recent, but I don't remember. You're asking if that's the same experience or never played categories. Oh. You're just telling me I put it the... Okay, yes, you're right. I'm stupid. Never mind. I think I looked at your sentence like twice and read it as same experience rather than some experience, and that was what was confusing to me. Oh, geez, Javi. Yeah, that's... Why are you playing Resistance at that point is what's happening there. You should, well, I guess there's not that many games that work with huge groups. You can do, Time's Up, force people to be active. Mao works with decent-sized groups. Not quite big enough for 2 rooms to boom, which you also need people to be actively talking for. There's not that many games that work well with, even 6 players, and certainly not very many that work well with more than 6. Talking board games among other things, Broadaxe, yep. We were playing some Snakebird earlier and went to Sidetrack Town. My favorite town, really. I love Sidetrack Town. Been talking about a variety of different games and the games I've played on Steam and games we're potentially looking at playing on stream down the road and all of that jazz. Hey there, Roma. His spot's getting updated. I wonder what that is. It's kind of interesting. Wait, does it actually have Steam leaderboards now? That was actually one of my biggest complaints about that game. It's like a pretty fun little platformer. It says additional leaderboard checks. Additional leaderboard checks. Does that actually mean they've got Steam leaderboards or not? I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah, I've played a lot of Dominion, Broadaxe. I've only played like 100 games of Dominion. Let's see. How many games of Dominion do we have? No idea. Oh, 150. Yeah, about 150 games of Dominion. A lot of people really like Dead of Winter, Eridolimo. I am not one of those people. I'm a person that is like, why the hell is Dead of Winter rated this high? This game is bad and it should feel bad. That's why I said like only. Like, so depending on who heard me say that only, it can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. Like there's certainly people that would be like, oh man, he's just joking about saying only because he's played such a huge number of games of Dominion, but no, I kind of been in between where it's like, well, I've played a good chunk of this, but I definitely know people who have played an order of magnitude more games of Dominion than that. Did you play on Isotropic when it existed, Brodex? Isotropic was the best online interface for any board game thing ever, and then it was gone, and it was sad. The Unification of Japan Intervergent. I've heard of it. I have not played it. This guy here. 150. Wow. Yeah, so this has a lot of things going for it that means I will probably never play this game. I don't really like two-player board games very much in general. They're not like worse games per se or anything like that. I just, if I only have two people, I would generally prefer other activities like video games or, I don't know, watching a movie together or something like that. There's still some that I do like quite a bit, but there's the social aspect of board gaming is important enough to me that I'm not a big fan of two-player, and I'm also not a big fan of this and this. I like shorter games, like mid-length games the most generally, stuff that lasts like an hour and a half or something like that. Not something that is gonna last probably 5 hours. 4.5. So that is probably very much not my type of game, but it looks like it's pretty well regarded. Yeah, and I can see that happening, area with some folks. I have a very hard time getting immersed in games in general, and even more so on most board games. Like, it's happened before, I guess. Like, I remember a game of Last Night on Earth that ended up telling a very like fun story with a lot of neat little actions that happened there that was very memorable. For example, like when we needed someone to actually roll 6 and 6 to like get this like important game-winning shot or whatever, and then someone else just yelled out "Boxcars!" right as they're rolling it. They actually rolled double sixes, and that was like super memorable. But it still wasn't like the best game. And Dead of Winter does so many things wrong that make me angry and sad and frustrated, and it's so long and Oh, and I think it was Ari that asked how long the NES tunes had been on the playlist. Probably about 3 months, 4 months, something like that. A little while back, I went on a kind of big stint of like trying to find all the best music from the NES I could possibly find, and decided to add that to the playlist. That's how I found like the music from the Smurfs. It's like, oh, what the hell? This Smurfs game I've never heard of from the NES has great music. What is this all about? Yeah, I've actually been kind of getting, I don't know if getting out of is really the best phrasing, but board gaming relevantly less lately. For a variety of reasons. Part of it is that my local board gaming store recently moved, and as part of that move, they are closing like we don't have like. Before we had this ridiculously awesome, convenient setup for us where we could basically stay as late as we wanted, and we had keys and we would just lock up, and that was awesome. But that doesn't really work in the new place. Like before, the back room and the front like display area were separated, so they could lock up and close the front area and leave, and then we would just have to worry about the back area, and like. They don't have to worry about anyone possibly stealing stuff from the main supplies or anything like that. But now they're kind of connected, so the store actually closes a lot earlier, and that makes me less interested in going, and some other reasons as well. But oh, and someone mentioned Tabletop Simulator, and considering getting it. Who was that? That was right before I went on break. That was Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter. Okay, so Tabletop Simulator. First of all, if you do want Tabletop Simulator, I believe it is currently half off on the Humble store, so that's a pretty good price if you do want it. But I will give a giant asterisk for people's enthusiasm of Tabletop Sim, because it's the worst way to play board games, basically. If there's any other way you could play a game than Tabletop Sim, you should do it that way instead. Like, any of the games on Board Game Arena play way better on Board Game Arena than they do on Tabletop Sim. Way, way better. They will play relevantly faster, and basically, like, stumbling through the tedious, annoying interface of Tabletop Sim will just actively slow down games a significant amount. That said, the only way to play a good chunk of board games online is through Tabletop Sim, so it does give you that option. Demon Hunter, if you don't know anyone in real life, but there might be some people nearby, you could check, what's the site? There's a specific site that the name of it just dropped. Is it like, it's like Matchup, or, what is that site called? Someone probably knows what I'm talking about from that, but like a website just for connecting groups of people. And you can like look to see if there's a local game group on there, and you can also look on Board Game Geek for anybody there, or contact any local game stores nearby and see if they have a regular group. There may not be one, but a lot of times there is a group you might be able to get involved with. And Ari, there is actually Walk the Plank on Tabletop Sim. Someone did put Walk the Plank on Tabletop Sim. I actually like sent him a message and told him how they could make the mod for it better, because they like made the plank spaces too small or something like that. And I think they fixed it. What was Undyne yelling boxcars? That wasn't my Undyne voice. Not that my Undyne voice is good, but it's much more breathy than that. Normal feet, no. What? No. I, like, basically assume you're just making something up to make a joke, but there's just enough possibility that you actually played a 6-hour game that combined other terrible games, and I'm horrified at the prospect. And I guess asterisk there, Scrabble's not a terrible game, but I don't personally like it. And then Zindo, I haven't played Zindo, well, apparently I only played it once, and it was freaking like 9 years ago, or sorry, subtract the other way, 7 years ago, but it was cool. It's a good game. It's formalized Mao, and that's pretty good. Tabletop game based on those figure skateboards on the tech deck garbage. Oh man. Well. So, I've played a game that actually kind of relates to that, honestly. Let's flip these ratings around so we're looking at the bottom of the ratings instead of the top here. Where do we got? There we go, Berserker Birds. Berserker Birds, yeah, this game. I think that's got something kind of like that. I think it's got little, like, boards. At least it is themed around that. I forget if the actual components had it. Yeah, they did, yeah, that's right. You don't really, like, use them that way, but, like, you got these little, Astro boards here. And, it is an impressively bad game. Impressively bad game. Meetup! Yes, Kinshiro, Meetup. That's the one we're thinking of. And yeah, Secret Hitler is probably simple enough that there's very little fiddling you have to do with stuff, so it should work with Tabletop Sim fine. Yeah, it should work with Tabletop Sim fine. Like, Codenames works fine on Tabletop Sim. There's not much fiddling you actually have to do. But if you have to actually move stuff around a lot, yuck. Yuck for Tabletop Sim. Slows everything down to a crawl. Homeworlds is interesting. I don't know that I would exactly call it good, but it's not bad. It claims to be the 1987 Toy of the Year, which suggests that 1987 was an incredibly bad year for games. I like it. I like it. Why do you have Homeworlds at? I think it's like a 6.5. It's kind of cool. No, actually I have it at a 7. Alright. I remembered it slightly worse than I had it there. I still like that phrase, like normal. It's good. I should probably get rid of my copy of Chronos. It's a kind of neat game. It's got this whole time travel thing, and it kind of works, but it's confusing and clunky as hell. Like, explaining the rules of that game is an endeavor. Like, good luck. Hopefully people have any idea what the hell you're talking about. It's a mess. Alrighty. Well, we're fully caught up on chat at this point. We got any other specific things to talk about? Should I find something to end us off? Got other things to say? You want to just stare at ratings? We could just stare at ratings. What's your favorite Dominion expansion, Broadex? If you are still here. And yeah, I played 100 games at Tishu. Navi speedruns. I don't know. I don't know about Navi speedruns right now. Wait, what? Oh, I'm not at the top or end of the page list, right? Like, why did it sort from 1 to 2? That doesn't even make sense. Alright, there we go. And this is just like an approximation. That's not any... And same with, like, this. And this. This is probably actually higher. Played a lot of times that. That's an approximation, and pretty much everything else is pretty close to accurate. Number of plays wise. I played that much Cash and Guns? That's kind of crazy. Lupin Louie is definitely one of the best games made for 4-year-olds. I've not played any game that is better than Lupin Louie that is made for 4-year-olds. Flux. This is actually not a bad game. Powerpuff Girls, Villains at Large. See, now I don't know where I want to go with the stream now. Like, it's a little late to like start something new, but I usually try to go like a little bit later than normal in time on Saturdays, and I don't know. Cannot misplay 3. Well, then it's just discarding as fast as you can, then, Kinshiro. You're just discarding as fast as you can. That's all that would be. Not a terribly interesting run. I guess slightly more interesting than just misplaying 3 times in a row. And resetting if you accidentally play legally. What other games do I value exploration in? That was actually an interesting topic brought up earlier. Let's see on that. What do we got for exploration here? That's something of a complicated premise. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly how you want to consider it, but... Oh yeah, you're right, Zombie. You're right. Good catch. Good catch. You cannot discard if you have max clues. That's true. So it's like junk clue discard, junk clue discard, junk clue discard. Possibly set up where specific people are giving the jump clues. So there's a little back and forth to it. Let's see. I liked some of the explorative feel of Cave Story. Definitely liked some exploration there. I don't know if I'd really say what I liked in Undertale would qualify as exploration. I don't think I would count that. Minecraft we talk about, great exploration. Antechamber, I would say yes, I like the exploration in a lot. Like, this is a puzzle game and stuff, and you've got your general progress, but there's also a bunch of little, like, neat hidden areas you can find in it. And it's just kind of fun to, like, poke around and see where you can kind of break the game and find where these hidden areas are. Star Control 2 had a great sense of exploration. Great sense of exploration in there. The game's 24 years old and it's fantastic. This is a stupid comment. I should fix that. Terraria has... it's got a little bit of a different kind of exploration. Like, Minecraft, I really enjoyed exploration for the sake of exploration. Like, just exploring on its own was pretty awesome. Terraria has a little bit of that, but it's a little more goal-oriented. It's like, hey, it's pretty cool to poke around and we're just kind of spelunky and cool, we just found a heart container, and that's a nice little bonus, and things like that. So it's still an explorative aspect that is fun, but not quite the same thing. Man, Krondor. Now, Krondor, I'm definitely curious how well it actually does stand up today. It's kind of got bad pseudo 3D, but there's some cool exploration there. I don't know how much I would still like it today, but I liked the exploration in Knit Story. It's pretty light, little Metroidvania-y exploration, but it was just a fun world to just kind of run around in and enjoy moving around in. That goes a long way towards making me like Metroidvania aspects. If it just feels fun to move around in and run around, and that helped with Ori a decent chunk too, where I could just run around and glide and triple jump, and it's just fun to move the character around, so that helps make it feel like more of an adventure to kind of just look around and go where you've been before and stuff. Yeah, it's an old game, Ritzel. Darklands is actually one of the few games that I would class as an open world game that I really liked. It's actually really rare for me to care that much about something I would call an open world game, but that's one that does that pretty well. Exploration in Chrono Trigger, kind of. Like, a big part of what I liked is just kind of like being a part of the world. Because it doesn't exactly have that strong of a story, and its gameplay is not very good either. But it's just a cool world to be in and experience. And that's similar to exploration. So maybe it's not quite as rare as I was thinking, huh? Like, Psychonauts is more about the humor, but just kind of exploring each new psyche with a new kind of unique world to it is kind of a cool experience. Bastion is not quite the same thing, but like the way it visually worked was really pretty stunning. Like the way the world built as you walked up to it and stuff, and that was just a really cool visual effect. But it wasn't really so much about actual exploration. Dark Souls had some pretty good exploration with its really great level design and the way everything interconnected back into each other. For some reason my comment here doesn't mention Lost Izalith is utter garbage. I should really mention that in my comment. There we go. That works. Lost Izalith, man. Hated that so much. Lava dragon butts as far as the eye can see. Nothing but lava dragon butts. Stanley Parable. That's a very unique case, but that relates, I guess, more into the like, what does the game do if I try this than direct exploration? But that's like a subset of exploration, and it's pretty cool in there. Ori exploration, kind of whatever. It was beautiful. I didn't like really enjoy the actual exploration so much, but the scenery and stuff was just so nice to look at that it kind of counts anyway. Titan Souls actually really liked, like I would actually say most people that I've talked to don't like the exploration aspect of Titan Souls. It's really pretty minor. It's just kind of I just found it like a really nice, kind of pleasant waltz between areas that you're in constant combat, and it was just a nice break with that looked neat, and it was just kind of fun to wander around and see where you'd go. Oh, the Adventure Line theme's amazing music, dude. Let's see, the Adventure Line. I was about to say it's going to be one of the most played songs in the stream that wasn't in the playlist, but that's not true. Like, all of FTL's music beats that out solidly. Although, what else does? What else does? I mean, it's still not that much, but we've probably played like 4 hours of the Adventure Line theme on stream. Methricus, welcome. That's a pretty accurate description of Stanley Parable. Alright, none of this has exploration I care about. No, I wouldn't really say EG has exploration I care about. Cyclist does, actually. And that's the entire game. This is like a pretty much trivial platformer that has some great chiptune music and just some nice casual exploration. It's kind of a hard game to recommend because it's not like really that. This doesn't have anything else going for it. There's no like challenge. It's just kind of like wander around, collect some orbs, and enjoy the world and the music. But it definitely hit me pretty nicely. Sickness, welcome. Just kind of whatever, really. I mean, mostly we've been talking about any number of things between board games and video games of various types. But right now I'm just kind of exploring games that, well, exploring games that I like the exploration aspect of, because like we're talking about Metroidvanias and stuff earlier, where I really don't like the like tedium and backtracking and stuff that is inherent in Metroidvanias, and other people were saying like they like the exploration of it. So kind of talking about like where I found exploration enjoyable. So when I mentioned Sankless, Proteus is a very appropriate thing to mention as a follow-up, Huffington. Very appropriate. I did not like it, though. I did not like Proteus much at all. That is a game of pure exploration and nothing else. But it really didn't look that interesting. I didn't like the really little sound effect things. It was just kinda something that happened, and it was meh. It was a giant pile of meh. I'd much rather like just boot up a random seed in Minecraft and wander around any day than play Proteus again. Nice, Ignis. Yeah, we're a variety stream. We do all sorts of different stuff here. Sometimes we just have little fun side conversations about games and such. We were playing some Snakebird earlier. We'll probably be continuing FF6 next stream, and yeah, do all sorts of different stuff. How much of what I considered good about Vampire the Masquerade was exploration? Not much. Not much. It's a cool game, though. I mean, a lot of these games like don't even have room for exploration. It's not like you're really exploring in Space Game. Fez had a pretty good sense of exploration. Yeah, it was a nice, just really cool world to look at and just kind of wander around and find the next puzzles around the corner, and yeah, so I like the exploration in Fez. I guess there's actually several games I like exploration in. I mean, look at all these nice comments. I've actually got good comments on these games here. Freedom Planet wasn't really exploration per se. That was mostly just, yeah, I liked the movement and being able to move freely rather than exploring the world per se. And don't let this 7 rating fool you. We talked about this earlier. Final Fantasy VII's not good. There's the Zeldas we talked about, all conveniently next to each other there. All those 7s. Those are my highest rated Zeldas. Little conversations, Black Fire. I mean, sometimes like 4-hour, 5-hour conversations. Sometimes. Often they're only like 20 minutes or 2.5 hours. Still pretty long, I know. Dishwasher vampire smile. I haven't actually finished that game and probably never will, to be honest. Later in the game, there's this super tedious and boring sewer section, followed by not too much interesting stuff after that. So I just kind of stopped playing. But, oh, I need to... Also, I should also mention, yeah... Oh, Cavian. Spell that right. There we go. Yeah, that's that should definitely be added. If anyone's playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, unless you're very confident you're gonna play through multiple characters and do it multiple times, you should definitely play as a Malkavian, because that is the best experience and it's amazing. Yeah, this is my list. There's my ratings linked up in chat if you're curious there. We've also got board games over here we were looking at earlier. I think that's on my to playlist possibly. Yeah, that is on the list. I might look at some more Blackfire Spirit Engine 2 there. That did impress me a fair bit when I played it, but it also started getting kind of tedious, and like the fights just took way too long at the point that I'd gotten to in it. So I don't know. The story seemed like it had a lot of potential as well. I barely remember it now. It's been a long time. So many games. Oh, Space Dealer? Maybe Music Dan. Space Dealer felt mostly like it was a pretty clever concept that didn't really have a lot of cool stuff backing it up, I guess is how I felt about Space Dealer. So little time indeed. And that's part of the idea of this list, is like to actually explore some of the stuff that we've played some but want to play more, and stuff that we've never played and really are interested in playing, and give input from viewers and stuff as well. Yeah, it depends on how many teeth you're having removed and stuff. Like, if it's just like a wisdom tooth or two, you don't even need to be, you don't even need to go under. And you basically will be in some pain and uncomfortable for another day or two, but you can still play stuff okay. Depends a lot on how many teeth it is and how impacted they are, or anything like that, though. As I idly tongue the empty spot in my mouth where a wisdom tooth used to be. TIS 100 Music Dad. Nope, you don't see that. I mean, if I'm gonna play that, I might as well play more Space Gim, right? 7 to 8 removed, wow. That's unfortunate. That's also really unusual, like, something just, apparently not that unusual. Roma's gotten 9 teeth removed at once. Yams. Ouch. Ouch. Like, with that many teeth, you probably will need to go under, or at least do 2 or 3 sessions, yeah. Oh, okay, they were baby teeth. Okay, that makes more sense, Roma. Like, 9 teeth is removed at once. What is even happening? Sounds horrifying. Hey, Red Run Lynn. Taking out the bottom canine teeth? I guess they're too far gone to repair or something. I've had some teeth like that without proper care of my teeth. You guys should floss, by the way. And if now here's yeah, sure, Twitch's health tips. If you find flossing stupid and like you hate the way flossing works, I also hated flossing, and basically didn't do it because it was too much of a pain in the butt to do, but these things. You can get these little guys right here to floss with, and those work like way better. They're really easy to manage, and you can keep like a bag of them next to your computer or somewhere convenient to remind you to do them, and yeah, that's a way to floss if you don't like dealing with like a long strand of floss or whatever the standard way. Music Dad, that's also on the list. I basically nothing on this list do I have specific plans for other than the fact that we're currently playing some Snakebird and One Way Heroics. I mean, these pluses here mean that I'm definitely playing more of this at some point. Snakebird's probably not even a plus anymore. Like, we played a good amount, and I still would play more, certainly, but it's not like a definite priority. That sucks, Demon Hunter. But I can say from personal experience that having just, like, gaps in your mouth, like where teeth are missing, honestly not that big of a deal. The more teeth are missing, the more of an issue it can't be for chewing and such, but I've got 2 missing teeth just in the middle of what, the bottom right and top left, and it doesn't really impact my ability to eat and chew stuff at all. I should figure out 1 star before I give up on Snakebird. Oh man. That thing was a nightmare. The furthest I got looking at that was like I figured out how it wasn't completely impossible. Only mostly impossible. But, yeah, like I said, I'm not specifically planning on giving up on it, and we've gotten a good amount of play out of it so far. But, I guess I would say that I don't have specific designs to definitely finish it. It's not like a priority we should definitely play more of, but it's not like Valdez Story or something where I'm like, yeah, we don't need to play any more of this. It's in between. It's like, yeah, I would play more of that, but I don't need to. Oh, Smite did that Star one as soon as it was unlocked off. Oh god. Bravo, I guess. Figured out, there's a lot of stuff you build up to that you use at that level. That probably made like the next like dozen levels you did kind of a breeze. Surgeon Simulator, Roma. Ha. That is the game we're playing, or were. And if anyone had any other ideas, by the way, for how to go about... Speak of the Smite! How's it going? Is that that's a new emote, I think? I don't think I've seen that one yet. But anyway, as I was saying, if anyone has any other ideas for how to go about, like, prioritizing and processing these various games listed here, I'm happy to hear them, but currently I think I do like the idea of having people, rather than just vote on a big list or whatever, they pick a few games that they specifically want me to play, and then we can like randomize from those games, and possibly like 1 or 2 that I throw in or whatever. That sounds like a good system. Doesn't sound like a good system of beating Invisible. I had no idea what I was looking at doing there. But yeah, freaking Star 1. I don't... I hate everything about this level. I mean, especially when I first saw it, man, like, it was like way zoomed out, there were 3 Snakebirds instead of 1, there's this uncrossable gap. That was just like, hey, let's see what this Star 1 level is. That's probably like a kind of a hard bonus level. Let's take a look. Oh god, no! Let's never speak of it again. Was basically how we felt about it there. Yeah, Demon Hunter, I would use a Google Doc to collect people's submissions for that. That would be what I would use to collect it. I can do it. Oh, God. But it's impossible, Smite. How am I supposed to do it if it's impossible? I've only completed like 25 impossible levels. So I don't think I can complete another impossible level. Ask people to review and rate them on BGG. It'd be kind of funny, Music Dan. I think that's a lot more work because people would have to make accounts and stuff for it. For Video Game Geek there. And really, I don't have the best idea what people actually want me to play out of this list. Like, I mean, people want me to play more Nuclear Throne. That is a thing people want. Although, if you guys want to watch Nuclear Throne, you should probably watch, like, Smite or Hoffington, who are both ridiculously better at the game than I am, but... We'll play more Nuclear Throne at some point. People definitely do want to see me play Darkest Dungeon. Like, I can think of ones individual people, like, Gunther really wants me to play Off. Whoever just mentioned Phoenix Wright wants me to play that. Poly Bridge Music Den? I don't know that I know what that is. Yeah, we could certainly do that to Demon Hunter. I like to some extent shying away from the polls a little bit, just because certain games will like never ever have a chance to get played if we strictly do polls. Like let's see, like Treasure Adventure game. That's never going to get played if we're strictly doing polls. Like, nobody knows what the hell that is. Same could probably be said of, I don't know, Fly-In or Ethan Meteor Hunter or stuff like that. So, it's we might mix it up, though. We might do some polls and some randomizers. Oh, that's interesting, Hoff, that Laetu made a tool like that. I think I would rather just be in control of things otherwise, because there's too many things that I would want to exclude. Like, well, like our junk folder we were talking about earlier. It's like, and like it's complicated too, because like there's games I've got 5 to 10 hours in that I've never actually played because I just left the game open in the background to get the cards or whatever. Oh hey, Smite has Isbot. You should, if you've already got Isbot, you should play it, Smite. It's a pretty cool little platformer. Not terribly long, but it's kind of like Super Meat Boy with a double jump and worse level design. I think that's a pretty accurate description of it. It was fun. It's a very fast game. Very fast game. So yeah, I don't know what else I want to do with stream. Oh, you beat it the other day? All right, very nice, very nice. Already got it covered then. I should probably add that to my Steam Curator page. That's probably good enough to be up here. I would mostly only recommend it on sale, but Yeah, definitely could be the case of. Oh, and here's a game I specifically will recommend to Smite, Hoffington, and any other streamers here, because it's super short, and it's free. It's made by the people who did Stanley Parable, and it's really funny and pretty cool. That's Dr. Layton Scott, the Tiger, and the Terribly Cursed Emerald, a Whirlwind Heist. Definitely worth checking out for something that takes like half an hour or thereabouts. Nubby's a good suggestion, Roma. I'm just not feeling it. Not feeling it right now. You did, Huff? Nice. Nice. And if anyone wants access to this, you just need to click a button on the Steam Curator page, and then it can bring up, like, when you're browsing games and stuff, it'd be like, Twinge's crew recommends Valkyria Chronicles, or whatever. So I don't know how useful that is to the average person, but it's kind of a neat little feature that's available. So, hey there, Artem. Poor Hoffington and Titan Souls. I almost don't even want Isaac on this list. Like, I don't even want to recommend Isaac, but it's a good enough game. I should still probably recommend it. I'm like overly mad about how little they care about the game. Like, I don't know. Maybe like because I guess like that one's exaggerated so much for me because like there was a lot of expectation from me that wouldn't be the case. Like I thought the whole idea, like to me, when they announced Binding of Isaac Rebirth, it's like, cool, Isaac's a neat game with a bunch of like bugs and problems, and they're gonna like do a new engine for it and fix those problems. Nope. What they're gonna do is add a bunch of new content and just make a new game and mostly ignore the old problems. Which still results in a better game. Rebirth is definitely a better game than Wrath of the Lamb. And it does look better, and it just is still so disappointing. And then like okay, they had some problems, like they still had stupid stuff left in from old Isaac, like the fact Roid Rage just flat out lied about what it did. It's like I forget exactly what it was, but it was like it claimed that it gave you a speed up that it didn't give, or something like that. The stuff that just flat out lied, and then they fixed that. It was like, hey, they're actually fixing some stuff now. I've got my hopes up again. It's like cautiously optimistic. It's like they're actually fixing some of the bugs here, and people are complaining about stuff because like they're being bad at communication. They're not actually saying what they're fixing, so people are misconstruing things and thinking they're breaking stuff when they're actually fixing it. But in the end, they were actually fixing stuff. It's like, cool, okay, it looks like they might actually fix it. Oh, now they're just talking about Afterbirth and ignoring Rebirth entirely and just gonna add a bunch of more stuff without fixing anything still. And then I go from like, and that's what happens. I guess if I've got this up, I should have chat over here, so I can be looking at you. I still haven't actually played Afterbirth. Oh, that sucks off, yeah. I would still enjoy some aspects if I played it, but I also haven't played nearly as much as you. Hey there, NVUK. So, as far as the art style goes, like, I have problems with the new art style. I'm definitely not in love with the new art style, but Like, I even kind of thought at first, like, maybe I just like the old art style better, but then I looked at the old art style again and was like, nope, never mind, this kind of looks awful. But, like, specifically I will say that, like, the old style of items, I think, looked better. I think that style definitely worked better for, like, the item pickups and stuff. Especially if they fleshed it out to be a more, like, coherent and consistent style that was actually done without, not just flash or whatever. But, like, that vector style definitely looked better for items, but I think it looked worse for the game overall, myself. I've heard enough, like, specific things, and considering I was already gifted it anyway, whatever, but, like, about the greed mode in Afterbirth, that is probably still worth checking out for me at some point, but, that's on the to-play list as well. Yeah, like, well, the worst part, Elsnick, was that they released some patch notes that were vague as hell and just made people think they meant entirely different stuff. It's like, I specifically remember there was something that, like, they just said, like, in the patch notes, something like, limited number of flies to 8, or something like that. And people were outraged. They're like, why would you limit Guppy that way so you can only have 8 flies? This is stupid. Why would you do this? And people were pissed off, and it turns out, no. Nothing was changed about Guppy at all. It was actually those little rings of, like, pink flies. Those could no longer have more than 8 in a ring of those flies. Where before they could have up to 10 or something, so with some characters they could get, like, super aggressive and hard to kill fast enough and it was a problem, so they actually improved the game and made it a little easier, that aspect. So that's a definite example of something that they actually had in the patch notes, but they just explained it so terribly that everybody thought it was something terrible, and it was actually just a nice little, like, minor quality of life fix. Now, if only they could do all of the other trivial quality of life fixes, like, I guess I would still, yes, I would still do it. If I had access to the code, I would fix this stuff. Like, most of what I'm talking about is not hard. Fixing the stat screen, you're just editing 6 lines of code. 6 lines of code that are just basic formulas. That's all you gotta do. All you gotta do to fix the stat screen. It's not a big deal. Fixing the hitbox on, like, Bloat's little floating eyes and Peeper's floating eyes. That's editing one number in an XML file. You're just editing one number, changing it from a 27 to a 13. That's all you do! That's all you have to do! It's that easy! And it's, like, just a clear improvement in the game that makes it feel less awful to play. And, it makes me angry. It makes me angry. And greetings, Steven RF. How warm is it where I'm at, Aroma? Pretty comfortable right now. I don't have an exact temperature, but it actually feels like it, or seems like it should be a little colder right now, since we've got some snow coming in, and it has at least already blanketed the ground, and it's a lot more snow is coming, but I'm actually very comfortable right now with a heater, with my little space heater off. Maybe I'm just hot because I'm burning with Isaac rage. But yeah, I've heard very bad things about the health scaling, Elsnick. That seems awful. The first true rant cam experience. That's right, Elsnick. Zexel, so in this case, I literally know, like, I've talked to someone that has decompiled that specific aspect of the game, so I actually know that it's literally just those 6 lines of code for the stat screen. And I actually know it's editing the XML file, because I've done it myself! I've actually edited the XML file myself to fix the hitbox on the eyes. It's not a hard thing at all. It's not hard at all. Some of the other stuff may be a little more complicated, although I know a lot of that's not, like fixing the door on one of the rooms so you can't enter from the bottom and run directly into an enemy. That should just be... should. Possible I'm wrong, but very likely I'm not. Should just be editing probably a single number in a file to change the room description there. Or opening up a... Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure that is how that works, because I've used a program that lets you just see the rooms, and you can kind of edit the rooms from there, so... Well, yeah, I mean, testing isn't easy, Music Dad, but that's another thing that was super frustrating with the way they handled the game. They, like, clearly didn't test stuff. Like, when they put out new patches in Rebirth's history, they didn't test stuff at all. It's like, alright, well, we fixed this thing. Nobody played the game or tested it, because if one person had played the game with a patch, they would have noticed that it horribly broke something that was live for, like, weeks or something afterwards, being super broken and all. Yeah. Yeah. Greetings, Thomas Peterson. Still say Peterson instead of Pedersen. Space heater cam. It's a pretty standard tall space heater. Joppy, well, we played games earlier, and I don't think we're probably playing any more games now. We're probably done with the games. And I can see that about Nuclear Throne off. There's still some stuff in Nuclear Throne that is really frustrating to me, but, so I'm still not really sure how I feel about it. I at least like it. I at least like Nuclear Throne. But I don't know how much higher that's going. Like, for example, I don't like the fact enemies can hide under the, like, the isometric view that's at an angle here. Like, there's like a little lip of a wall, and an enemy can just be completely invisible hiding behind that wall. Bunch of little things like that. That is super annoying. Hey there, Angry. Yeah, exactly. Like, they just didn't playtest the game. And that's, like, I mean, there's other stuff that just, it feels just, like, not pleasant to be, like, I don't know, listening to the devs in a lot of ways. Like, for example, again, like, another case of either not, like, all of the options are bad. Like, I know I've talked about this one before, but, so, Dr. Fetus, with, when Rebirth came out, it, instead of being the massive, like, 50 damage bombs it was in Wrath of the Lamb, it was 3 times your damage stats. So they started out doing only, like, 10 damage instead of 50 damage. So they were massively nerfed. And people were very upset about this and assumed it was on purpose and such. And then, like, I want to say 4 months later, something like 4 months later, Edmund's like, "Oh, we didn't know about that. That was a bug. That was a bug. We didn't mean for it to be like that." And as far as I can tell, like, there's only really 2 options here. 1, he's just blatantly lying, or 2, he's paying so little attention to the community and so little attention to playtesting his own game that they somehow didn't even notice that this, like, specific item that is super sought after was not working remotely close to intended. And, like, it was one of the things that people were most outraged and most talkative about as a community. So it, like I said, both of those options are terrible. I don't know which is more bad, but, I don't know, I guess I just hope he's lying. I guess that's what I prefer out of the 2? I don't know. Yeah, and that's the other thing. They don't even fix that until, they buy a DLC to fix it. And then people are complaining about issues in that, and all they can talk about is another DLC. Like, it's not like, it's, again, we go back to this again and again. It's like, it was still a good game. I put a couple hundred hours into Rebirth. It was a really good game. I enjoyed a lot of it, but like, what the hell? But what the hell? That's really what it comes down to. Like, why? Why do they care so little? And it, I mean, and it's just like an interesting spot. I guess like since it's specifically like two guys that are working on it, I guess it feels more direct, more like targeted in a lot of ways, where it's like, I don't know, a decent-sized company of people made like Valkyria Chronicles, which has a lot of that same sort of like, this is a good game that could have easily been so much better if they had just paid more attention to it and put more effort into it. And that's something I find true of a lot of games, and it's extremely frustrating, but with Rebirth, I guess it just kind of feels like they actively don't care. Like, that's kind of a weird phrasing, but like that's what it feels like. They are like putting forth an effort to not care about fixing their game. So that's yeah, that's nice, Demon Hunter. Although Civ 5 on release was kind of a hot mess, too. The AI barely worked right. The AI didn't even know how to, like, cross water properly when Civ 5 was released. What the hell was that? I mean, I guess really, all Civ games, since maybe Civ 2, have been, like, kind of, problematic in a lot of ways as their base game and then gradually fixed over time with their expansions. Civ 5 was pretty terrible on release and has been gradually fixed with a few patches and its expansions to make it pretty good. Oh yeah, that's also a problem, Hoffington. Like, they just put in stuff straight up, like, purely to annoy. I also don't like roguelike design that involves, like, the fires and poops in Isaac, where, well, if I'm playing optimally, I have to tediously take the time to shoot out these things for the chance of a very small but definite reward. And, like, that's very common, but I do consider that bad game design for most things, but especially roguelike. Zaxels, I forget what they are. Do they have SR850? Samson SR850 is what these are. Let's see, Slug Mercenary, regular here, suggested them when I was poking around for new headphones. They're like, because they were on a really good sale at that point. They were normally like 50, and these were 25 when I got them. And they're pretty good. I like them. I wanted specifically some open ear headphones for streaming. Basically, it's important that I can hear myself while streaming. It is really awkward streaming when like I've got a closed ear headphone and I can't hear myself. I've actually got some of those over here. Yep. If I got these guys. Hey there, Truth Cracker. The wire can reach you. So now, like, I could barely hear myself at all, and it just sounds weird. It just sounds weird talking with these on. These also kind of look weird on the picture. But probably just because I'm used to seeing the other ones, but whatever. But like these are good headphones. I like them. These are ones I found at the thrift store I work at. Some Bose headphones, but they're not good when I'm also talking with folks. I need a mixing panel. I mean, I kind of would like to get a, yeah, there you go, albino arms. I'm blinding everyone with my arms, which are pretty white in general, but look even whiter with my bad lighting. But, what was I saying? Oh, I would actually like to get a compressor. I think would be a good, like a physical compressor for my setup would be helpful. They look like salad bowls. But yeah, like it's a little unfortunate that the fancy microphone still can peak, I guess, but even with the gain all the way down, we noticed that with voicing certain characters in some of our playthroughs, like Mad Dummy and Undertale did peak the microphone a little bit when it's like, whatever. Hopefully that didn't bleed anyone's ears there, but like when doing that sort of voice, it was actually peaking on the microphone, and that's not good. Peaking's not pleasant to listen to. The man with the wild beard and the neat hair. I don't know that I'd really call the hair that neat. I guess it's combed here. I really need a haircut, though. That's part of why I keep taking off my headphones here, because it's just kind of getting itchy since I need a haircut too much, and it's getting in the way and under the headphones and stuff. I have actually tried to do a little bit of professional narration before on whatever the site is, the main site where you can do that. Didn't get picked up for any books yet. I'll have to try again some more at some point. Hey, Quantum Array, because more than like actually making like relevant money that I care about there, it's just kind of a fun thing to have under my belt or whatever. It's like I made this audiobook. Compressor Jumpy Dumpy. What it basically does is so as your kind of like volume gets towards the high end, like let's say here's like if the volume goes past this point, it peaks and sounds really distorted in the microphone there. So like if we have no compressor, like most of what I'm saying is like right here, but like if it's something super loud, it's gonna go like right up here and sound distorted and not be pleasant to listen to. So what a compressor does is as we approach the peak here, it starts going less and less. So like it will cut it off here, and like basically like maybe at this point it's this volume here is halved to this point, and over here it's quartered to this point. So it still gets louder, but it gets louder a lot more gradually, and it ends up kind of giving a richer sound while avoiding the peaking issues. So that's basically what a compressor does. You could also just do a limiter, which will just flat out cap it at a certain point, but that's going to be less less versatile and less rich of a sound and such. Yes, makes the milk look yellow and the arms are white, pretty much. I've looked into that a little bit, Zaxels, as far as software compressors, and it seemed like things would be like overly delayed, or it wouldn't work super well, but it's still definitely a possibility. Hey there, BTL, or the boxes. The boxes are just available in case I need to ship stuff, basically. Yeah, that is the other problem, true, Zaxels. Hardware compressors would be using XLR, not the USB. That is a good point. I mean, ideally, I would want another microphone for streaming anyway, but I don't think I care about that enough to switch that out, at least in my current living situation or anything. Like, this works okay. It's also, like, ginormous. But, I mean, it's got its built-in stand, it works pretty well, it has a good sound. It picks up everything, so, like, if I throw a pin across the room, you guys can hear this pretty clearly. But, that's with the gain at the minimum setting. LibroVox, Thomas. I don't think so. I don't think so. Is that the like free project? Like I could do it for that too, which would be potentially interesting. But it's like AUX or something. I don't. It's not Audible, but it's like it works with Audible. I don't know. It's like the main one. I don't think it was LibroVox. LibroVox makes me think of the like project to make audiobooks out of like open the public domain books and stuff. And yeah, I don't actually like noise gates. So like. Yeah, if I like mute this, you'll be able to hear like a very faint background noise, like from the computer or whatever else. If I stop talking, there should be just like a kind of a little bit of a faint buzz there. But the problem with a noise gate is that if you have a noise gate on and that like you actually have a reason for the noise gate where you do have a bit of a background noise, what it does is it will go from basically like. This might be able to demonstrate. Let's see. I'm going to try muting it and then unmuting it without saying anything. So yeah, I don't know if that difference really came through on stream, but basically the noise gate would mean you're constantly going from that pure silence to that little bit of background noise, and it's really jarring difference. So I don't actually recommend noise gates in most cases. And greetings, Recon Panda. Welcome to the chat. I have those boxes so I can build a fort. We talked about that earlier, Ritzel. We talked about that earlier. It's like we've always got the option to build a sick box fort out of them if we want to. I don't think I've ever actually built a box fort. When I was younger, I definitely built some nice like blanket forts and stuff. Because I had like a bunk bed and a decent sized room, and I could like actually build out a pretty cool set of blankets and go to the walls and have stuff covered and blanket forts. Awesome, obviously. Sure thing, Truth Cracker. Your microphone picks up airplanes, Steven Hunter? Yeah. I get trains. I definitely get trains. Greetings, Perp Envy. Yeah, my hair looks super shiny with the poor lighting too. I'm not super concerned about it, but it does look a little silly. Why did I close your browser, Steven? I don't know. It just seemed like maybe you'd had enough and you needed to go to bed. Yeah, that wouldn't just be a noise gate rule. That would be apparently adaptive noise reduction. I haven't heard that term, but I do imagine things like that exist. But yeah, it's not just a noise gate. Ah, Kriba, did you have the same experience with Rex? I mean, I was definitely surprised when I saw Rex too. It's like, huh? So that's what Rex looks like. Weird. And I imagine that's the standard response with me as well. Nice, Hoppington. Rendezvous, welcome to the chat. We're just kind of rambling about whatever we feel like rambling about right now. Oh, your military base path? Yeah, that could bring in a lot of planes, for sure. Killed during tragic blanket fort collapse. That would be quite the obituary, for sure. We're drinking milk right now, Rendezvous. And I'm aware it looks weird. My lighting isn't very good. Well, it still looks mostly white. I think the level of mustard milk you guys are talking about is a little overstated. That looks pretty white. Okay, that's kind of yellow. That's probably the glass as much as the lighting, though. Steven, you're making me want to try muting my microphone again. If somehow it's gonna close your browser. I assume that was just a ridiculous coincidence, but Rex was not even remotely banana-like. He didn't really seem to resemble a dinosaur either. I mean, just basically our entire world's a lie. I tried just like screwing with the white balance and stuff before Elazar, and it didn't really seem like it was gonna do much for us. But we could screw with it some more potentially. Like this is actually was like a little better than the default. But oh, that's on auto. Never mind, it's on auto. You gave up. I think I tried to set it to a specific amount, and it didn't seem like it was gonna do much. But let's see. That's actually probably a little better, isn't it? Yeah, that probably looks a little better. Look a little more... No, I mean, that's just lighting, though. We can't really do anything about that. That's I think that's a little better, actually. We should maybe just lock it around there. We can do that. Now I've got jaundice. Don't want twins with jaundice. Anything over there is obviously pretty terrible, but yeah, just like leaving it around there. I think that's a little better than having it on the auto. So I do remember screwing with that a little bit when I was setting up the camera, but yeah, no, I think that's better. Oh, that was actually a little hard to tell because I had a big white screen on the side, so that changed how it looked a little bit. But I look a little more human now, I think. I'd say I look a little more human. Lapigax, welcome to the chat. And Angry, yes, I have played some Risk of Rain. Not a whole lot. It's definitely something I need to revisit. I only played Risk of Rain before they changed... Maybe need to actually tone that back down a little bit. Looks a little overly pink and stuff, but that's okay. I think it's still a little better than it was. But yeah, before they ported it to a different engine, and before I had a good CPU. So, it ran like crap, and the fact that the entire game was based on frame rate, it really impeded the game experience, so... A little more human, a little less Twitch. Ouch. Showing milk for the camera. Yeah. Just like, oh, show it to the camera and spill it all over the keyboard. I can easily see that. I think I have the wherewithal to not do that. Like, it's really empty by the time I'm actually showing it here, so... Nose is all itchy here. Yeah, I can bring up that that list again. Oh, see, now it looked brighter because we got white on the screen. Look at that difference. The sultry glow of the computer monitor. But yeah, Risk of Rain is up here in our some experience, but definitely should play more of category. I mean, no, you guys haven't really seen my torso too much, Chaotic, so you don't really know what's down there. But now the boxes and why they are there. Clearly, this is important. Oh, the boxes, how long they will be there for. What? Fire hazard. That's a very professional poll you've got there. Operating from behind the boxes. That's why you figured it out. That's why the boxes are there. It's hiding all this stuff. Let's see. I made a paste bin the other day with this list, but we can make another one real quick. And these will probably leave. Yeah, whatever. We'll throw them on there. Alright, there it is in chat if you want that list. It can be a side effect of getting stuff from Amazon. Let's see. I think about 2 of those boxes are from Amazon. And I think I probably even got them from Amazon. Like, I might have gotten Amazon boxes not from Amazon as well. It's definitely a thing. Blackfire. I also do find it mildly amusing that we're actually, like, gating viewers while we're just kind of rambling about nothing. Like, we have fewer viewers for this when we're doing, like, Final Fantasy VI. It's always interesting. Although it is Saturday, that's true. No, that's the biggest reason. I've got some interesting tags in here for my little brief descriptions of games on the list. Not streaming is not approved. Well, we're screaming, and we're doing we're talking about games. We've done stuff on stream that is less Twitch approved than this before, probably. A lot of them, well, like Elazar, I mean, most of the boxes are saved for use for things like eBay, mostly eBay. Some of them came from Amazon and Newegg. A lot of them just came from wherever, like boxes at the thrift store I work at or whatever. Yeah, Long Live the Queen is pretty cool, and there's still enough content there to be worth another playthrough. Oh yeah, that's true. We could move a Super Puzzle Platformer up there. We did do a stream of Super Puzzle Platformer, and yeah, we'll keep that on the list. That's like something to potentially play more of, but we don't need to. Lepicax was actually looking for a random stream with no games. Jackpot! Jackpot winner right there. Nice. We were playing some Snakebird earlier, but we've kind of just been, we had a reasonably orderly discussion about games for a couple hours, and last hour or a little over, kind of just rambling about nothing specific, just kind of going wherever. This Twinge sells organs. Look, I would want a better box than those if I'm selling organs roll. You gotta keep that stuff refrigerated. Bring back Princess Twinge. Princess Twinge is pretty hype. Let's see. I am the queen. Something like that. Oh, my beverage is empty. I think I like started Syra and was like, this is okay, and then never played anymore. I don't want to bother playing Oregon Trail because that's my life anyway, just selling organs. But yeah, I'm not very enthusiastic about Oregon Trail. That's in my almost junk folder without having played it. It's like, I could play this and it wouldn't be the worst experience, but mostly why bother? My head bobbles with Elodie. Apparently that was amazing. I don't know. I don't even know what happened. You glad you weren't drinking? Nice. But that was actually like I just distinctly remembered that line in the Long Live the Queen playthrough. Like I was actually really happy about that. Like the emotion behind that. She's like actually taking charge. Like no, bullshit. I'm the queen. This is what's happening. But yeah.
The fanfare ascends.
How's it going, man? I sell organs in daytime. Yeah, when I say I work at a thrift store, I mean we are dealing in used things. I mean, it's not an entire lie. We just may be selling people's organs instead of electronics. And I may be carving them out of people rather than testing the electronics. These might be things that are happening. Pretty easy game with some replayability. So, I mean, Dwarf Fortress is playable. It's not, like, impossible to get into, but it is still frustrating because the UI doesn't actually... It's not like the UI has to be that bad to do everything Dwarf Fortress does. So it's still frustrating to work with. Voice acting, absolutely terrible rule. I mean, it wasn't like Freedom Planet bad. Well, no, wait, Freedom Planet wasn't... So Freedom Planet's like not even that bad, except for one of them, which is terrible. But it's just the mastering. The mastering in Freedom Planet was terrible and made them sound a lot worse. And the writing, the dialogue also made them sound worse because the writing was so bad. The actual voice acting wasn't that bad. It wasn't like amazing, but it wasn't bad. In Freedom Planet. Let's see. Dust was definitely more professionally mastered from what I remembered hearing. And was annoying. Because you've got like this little helper character with a super annoying voice that's constantly saying stupid stuff. But it seemed like that's what they were going for and they nailed it, right? So I don't actually know if it's bad voice acting or just like bad writing plus direction. I don't know. It might actually be that. It might also be kind of bad, but Ritzel kind of liked Fidget. It wasn't the worst from what I heard, but it was definitely on the annoying side of things. Coffee break roguelikes, angry. They're usually things that like still take a really long time. Like I remember Desktop Dungeons was largely billed as like a 15-minute roguelike or whatever originally, but plays of that, especially the new version, I mean, we usually take like an hour and a half per level or something on that. I haven't played Brogue. I've heard consistently good things about it. That could probably be on this list, honestly. We could add some other roguelike stuff. There's so much stuff for this list. So many cool games, like Doom Roguelike and Brogue, maybe Powder. Yeah, I guess I'll add all of these to the list. Why not? Whatever. Make this list stupid long. Make this list stupid long. Sure. We'll phrase it that way. Doom Roguelike. It's a roguelike. Like Doom. And Powder also. Those are the roguelikes that I would actually be interested in playing that I haven't, the more traditional ones. Buffer Circle is a nemesis indeed, man. Oh, that's unfortunate, Demon Hunter, if enemies kind of become, meat sacks. It's a shame how often, like, the writing is bad in games. How many games would I actually say have good writing? Undertale. End of list. I think that's about it. Like Final Fantasy VI, I love the story, but it's still not very good writing. It's got some major issues that are partially translation, partially writing. Did I say Sandbox by accident? That's I guess I'm just gonna leave that. That's amazing. I did not do that on purpose. I'm just gonna leave it though. Greetings, Mac Red Rum. Welcome to the chat. Peter Venable's Laser Chess. It sounds like Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf. Consideration for Child of Light, Elazar. What little I know about it leads me to think I would find it pretty average and wouldn't be a huge fan of it, but I don't know a whole lot about it. I would be willing to try it, but I don't own it, and it's not like a high priority to get. Yeah, that's a tough call, Jumpy. So that's actually an interesting discussion in general. Would something like Final Fantasy VI be a better game if it was purely just a narrative without the combat and stuff? I think like having something that is breaking up your narrative adds a good sense of pacing. And I'm not saying FF6 has good pacing, but having it broken up in some fashion adds to the experience and improves the experience. This can be done in a lot of ways. Again, we can touch back on Undertale. There has really solid pacing for the most part. There's a little flaw in the pacing later on, I would say, but I won't go into specifics. I'm always going to be vague as hell about Undertale for like a year until people all have a chance to play it. But Pacing-wise, you've got some areas where you've got some combat sections, you got some areas with little puzzle sections, some areas where you're mostly reading some narrative or talking with characters, and there's a pretty good balance where you're kind of cycling through these different types of gameplay or story and whatever, so it helps break things up and give you more diversity and a more varied experience. So I don't think that purely removing in-between stuff in something like Final Fantasy VI is really an ideal solution. It might still be a better game in some ways. I don't know. It's like no gameplay. But yeah, I guess that's kind of what the question boils down to, right? Is no gameplay better than bad gameplay? That's an interesting question. I don't have a solid answer for that I'm like confident in. I think it's pretty situational, and I think a lot of the like story elements can potentially like lose some of their impact if they don't have some of that pacing in between. Like it's a less of an interesting reveal when certain things happen, and it doesn't like feel as impactful if it happens like so soon afterwards, and without the investment in your characters that you've powered up and leveled up and gone through several fights with and things like that. So even not liking the grindy combat and stuff in RPGs, there's still some value to be had there. You did not watch the same thing 4 times, Steven. That's the thing. You're just lying if you said you watched 4 people play Undertale and you watched the same thing 4 times. You're either lying or you weren't paying attention. That's what I'll say about that. Like, I think I saw about 30 playthroughs of Undertale before I finally saw a playthrough I didn't see something new in. I saw something new every single time I watched a playthrough of that game. The attention to detail in that game is ridiculous. You played too many sandbox games. I mean, a lot of these things I don't know a lot about, but my understanding is this is fairly accurate for Life is Strange, right? And that's not even like a huge knock against it. Like, not having gameplay is a downside for me by default, but there can still be good games despite that. Oh, and oh, Marin, yeah, I knew I missed a question. Asked if I ever do MMORPGs. So, oh god, I'm behind on chat. Bear with you with freaking 2 years. What the hell? That's plus Patreon and stuff. So much support, an unprecedented amount of support from Marin. Always appreciated, good sir. But yeah, as far as MMOs go, so we've got I put that there. So I played Ultima Online. I played a lot of Ultima Online. Basically 97, or like I think let's say September 97 through September 98, I was playing Ultima Online. Probably 5 to 7 hours a day. Almost every day. That adds up. It's a lot of time. And so I think that's actually my second most played game. But, so I played a huge amount of that. UO was kind of... It wasn't the original MMO, technically. It was the second one. The Realm was the first, but nobody played the Realm or cares about the Realm. So, for most intents and purposes, it was the first. And being the first MMO was actually a huge, this is like a concept I've evolved over time quite a bit. But the fact that it was like the first was actually really important for the experience. You can probably see I'm mostly rehashing a lot it it meant that if someone wanted to play that type of game, they were playing Ultima Online. So that meant when we were playing Ultima Online, there were some ruthless PKs, there were casual people, there were people that organized in guilds and fought tough monsters, there were role players, there was this giant melting pot of forced diversity that made the experience all the more varied and interesting. It also helped that nobody knew what the hell they were doing. That was really useful. That I'm still not really sure like what I want to do with this. Like, do I want to leave the text on screen? Do I want to pop up here? I don't have a good like half and half setup, which might be good for these sort of discussions. But anyway, like that was helpful because like when I was playing this game, people weren't super organized. People weren't min-maxing to perfection like they all would be played today, including myself. I would be part of that problem. But people were a lot more casual about it. PKs, the player killers, were almost always just like lone wolves. There's this one guy. He was really strong or whatever, but it was still just one guy. Whereas if you just put Ultima Online in a modern setting, like don't change anything from when I played it freaking 20 years ago almost, it's a mess. People will organize, they'll be together on voice chat, you'll have a roaming gang of like 5 PKs all working together to instantly just eradicate someone with a coordinated attack, and they have no chance, and it's not fun, and it's stupid. So like the fact that people didn't really quite know what they were doing, and they were a lot less organized, or a lot less able to organize than they can today, improved the experience vastly. And really what it kind of comes down into the end is that Ultima Online had emotion. It had feeling behind it. You had the triumphs and the losses. It was a lot like a roguelike in that way. It's like I distinctly remember like being a pretty like newbie player and gathering up a few other of my like newbie friends, and like there's this guy Gambit. I remember the name Gambit was the PK up north of Britannia there that like either murdered me or a friend or something, or maybe just lots of people in the area. And when we gathered together and with our forces together, we actually were able to take down this dread PK guy. I remember him trying to recall out and escape, but we managed to interrupt his recall and take him down. And like, so even like 20 years later, I still remember like a moment like that, and it was really cool. And so that was my first MMO experience, and it was great, and it can never be recreated. It's actually not possible, as far as I'm concerned. It would be cool if I'm proven wrong. I would be impressed, but as far as I'm concerned, it actually is impossible for that to happen anymore. And the little bit of dabbling I've done with modern MMOs has been dreadful. Just a nightmare, like something wholly unenjoyable. So let's flip our ratings around to the other side if we want to talk about those games. And we could like talk about Rift, for example. So I didn't expect to like this game, but I didn't expect to hate it. It's awful. It's just awful. It's mindless and boring as all hell. And greetings, by the way, Squeak. I'm way behind on chat. We're slowly catching up. Gotta do the MMO rant and discussion here first. But like, I expected to like enjoy some of the exploration aspects, or just kind of wandering around the world of Rift or whatever. But that wasn't fun, and there wasn't any gameplay that was fun or story that was fun, and there wasn't anything left. Like, I played like for 4 or 5 hours or something and hated it. I played with some friends, and then like, no, okay, maybe I was just feeling off that day or whatever. I really want to give a modern MMO a chance, so we'll play some more and I'll see if I find something else to like. No, it was still just as bad. And like, it was 10 hours of 4 quests. The game had 4 quests. You would yeah, like I haven't described yet. It's just like go collect 6 things, or kill 6 enemies to get 6 things that drop, or just kill the enemies. Those were separate quests, by the way. Those were 3 separate quests. The 4th one was maybe go somewhere or something. I don't remember, but there were a total of 4 different quests, repeated infinitely, and you got like some stupid minor reward that you didn't really care about for doing something that required no thought or no challenge in a world that had nothing interesting going on. And yeah, it was makes me angry how bad that was. I also played a little bit of it's with a V, I think. Yeah, Vindictus. There we go. That was also just awful experience. I don't think I will ever enjoy an MMO again on any significant level. That is my expectation. Again, I could definitely be wrong. I'm not writing off the possibility, but I think the simple fact that people can choose the MMO they're playing casually, so you can't really force a diverse crowd, and like the type of experience I would want is so razor thin as to be completely untenable. Like, I want something where you can kill other players, and that's a real threat, but it has to be, like, just perfect where not everybody wants to do that. Like, there's definite consequences, and it's very challenging to take that path, but it can still be fun, but you don't just feel bad, like, if you're not doing it, or you're not just constantly getting wrecked by PKs, and, like, I really want that threat to be there, but to not be devastating or ever present. Like, it's yeah, it's complicated, but that's my thoughts on MMOs and how much I loved Duo when I played it most of my lifetime ago, and well, I don't think I'll ever have an experience the same. Hey, Stealthy Noob. Well, I mean, I really didn't like Earthbound. So, and I only played that in a modern setting, so there wasn't a whole lot of incentive to play Mother 3. But, it's on the list because it's influential and, specifically of games like Undertale. But, And Zaxel's, from the little I've heard, I would agree with the rule, and starting with the first Phoenix Wright is the way to go. That was the response I got from, like, I asked Elegy, actually, Elegy of Games, a streamer that does a lot of voicing playthroughs of games, and he said, just start at the beginning for Phoenix Wright, no reason to skip ahead. Papers, Please writing. There wasn't a lot of writing, but yeah, there was some, and it was at least good-ish, which is well above the norm for video games. Oh, damn it! I paged up on my chat, not on the screen. I gotta find my spot again. Gotta find my spot. Where we're like, oh, I'm actually 10 minutes behind on chat? Wow, I'm 10 minutes behind on chat, guys. MMO rants take a long time, as it turns out. Yeah, Persona 4 is very specifically, like, the JRPG I haven't played that I am interested in playing. Specifically Persona 4. I have not played it. I probably should at some point if I get a chance to. I don't actually even know, like, is that, what systems is it even on? I don't actually know that, now that I think about it. Glory Tars Tosca, indeed. Total Annihilation also on the list. The room needs cleaning? I mean, what you can see of the room is relatively clean. You can just see some boxes. That's all you can see. You can see a bed and some boxes. The bed's clean. And there's some boxes, which are kind of in the way, but also completely out of the way and not a big deal. My room does need cleaning. It is kind of a mess. But you can't see that part. You don't know. Other than the fact I just told you. Hey, Tistine. Turn my bed, yes. Turn my bed into a box for it and just start screaming from inside the box for it. That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Squeaga, so I did actually have some experience revisiting UO. How long ago was that? I want to say about 8 years ago? That could be like plus or minus like 3 years or something, but I played on Inpor Yelem, the symbols for Magic Missile, but I played on that player run shard, which was using like rule set from like 98 or 99 or something like that, and it was definitely fun to revisit it. And I did have a lot of fun playing it again then when we did. But it did highlight a lot of the problems I kind of talked about there, where like people are more organized now. Like when I was kind of talking about roaming gank squads, I actually had experienced that firsthand and seen it like in that shard where people organized and were able to just murder people very quickly with a quick impor limb to pop a shield they might have, and then corpor down. Almost nothing you can do about it. The boxes are not moldy, Cracker. If the boxes are damaged, I toss them. It's not very good for shipping stuff if there's problems with the boxes. Greetings, Yvonne. The rating on Quap seems right. I actually raised my rating on Quap. Like, it used to be lower, and I'm like, no, Quap's not that bad. It's, like, I hate bad controls as a mechanic, but it still does what it's trying to do well, I guess. Son wants to go into my room, Blackfire. It's not dawn yet. It's getting pretty close, so it's 6:30 where I'm at. Let's see. Is it still completely dark out? It looks completely dark out. Yeah, it's actually still completely dark out. But... I do get a modicum of sun more days of the week than not. Alephagax, yeah, it's a complicated problem why MMOs are so bad. And I mean, like, the market for them is gradually going down, and they're so expensive to build and to maintain that it's really hard to be profitable with them, and or to even like do small scale ones, and it's really in an awkward spot. That's hard to make anything good with. I remember brief delusions of making an MMO of our own when we were younger. Didn't like Amorphous. Yeah, that was pretty stupid. I played a lot of Flash games. Good Flash games are like a 6 out of 10, generally speaking, with a very few marked exceptions. But there are a few where it's like, but most of the time it's like, man, that was really good for a Flash game. That's like slightly above the average game I've played. And yeah, introverted muds are also a thing. they're different enough. I didn't quite class them with them. I think the experience is different enough, but you can get some of that same experience from MUDs. I played a lot of Avatar MUD back in the day. I also don't really have a lot of enthusiasm to play MUDs again. I don't really see. I mean, there's like, yeah, a lot of stuff like that was kind of cool in some ways, but then like once you actually treat it at a high level of play, it just completely falls apart. And it's just like, well, I'm the group's hitter. We need a specific type of group, and I do the same action repeatedly, or mostly have scripts do it for me, and yay. Trade Wars is a great example of that. Trade Wars is an old BBS game, so like basically the pre-internet internet in a lot of ways. And it's pretty cool. You got like this whole like galaxy, and you go through planets and try to build up money, trading goods, and you can fight other people and stuff like that. But playing it from a modern perspective is largely a matter of having the best scripts and being able to detect enemies from a sector away and like auto fire immediately, like to outpace them with your attacks, and automatic scripting to loop through trade routes to build yourself a bunch of money using your turns, and it was kind of cool to visit from a modern perspective a little bit, because it's a neat little game, but it is like just, it falls apart in a really bad way. Lapigax, yeah, that's a good thing. Like, it's another thing that's really tough to have a balance for. Like, you want like death to be meaningful, but you don't want it to be absolutely devastating. Like, even if death is bad, it means people aren't playing your game because they're too frustrated and want an overly simple situation. And once again, that makes it hard to build up like a serious MMO. That would be the sort of thing I would want to play, because people won't play it. The type of people that play MMOs won't play it in the first place. And yeah, we actually talked about McPixel earlier, man. I pretty much hated it, but I could see people liking it. It is on PS2? Okay. So we could probably emulate PS2 pretty reasonably. Actually, I mean, PS2 is surprisingly hard to emulate, but now that I've got a better CPU, I should be able to do that fine, probably. It's something to check out, because I don't think I'll have any other way to play it. Unless it ever comes out on PC. Roller Coaster Tycoon. I haven't played Roller Coaster Tycoon, man. Do I dislike QWOP for its concept or execution? Concept. There's QWOP. Oh yeah, I don't even have a comment for it there, but I basically really do not like bad controls in any form whatsoever. I don't like Octodad, I don't like Surgeon Simulator, I don't like QWOP, I don't like Gish, I don't like Super Bonk. Whether it's intended bad controls or like bad controls because of bad game design, I don't like bad controls. I really don't like bad controls. Other than that, like, QWOP is kinda whatever. It executes its concept reasonably well. Although I actually like Clop a little better, but... Phonotopia, Jumpy. No, I haven't played that one. And yeah, most successful Flash games do end up as full releases of some form. Like VVV was made in Flash, for example. I haven't really played much Flash games anytime recently, but I used to do a lot of stuff on Congregate back in the day. I think I've used back in the day to refer to about 4 distinct timelines tonight alone. Back in the day, back in, you know, either 97 or maybe like 2003 or 2006, or all of those are back in the day. I'm an old man, as it turns out. Stick Figure RPG 2 is being no. It sounds terrible by the name. And it makes me think of some of the RPGs on Congregate that were rated highly and were awful. Just awful, yeah. Like, I think like Epic Battle Fantasy Adventure 1 through 3 or something. Something like that. Oh god, those games were so bad. Make me angry that people rated them so highly when they're so bad. I guess we're basically caught up on chat. I mean, I technically have a PS2 Blackfire, but I also don't have a capture card. And also my PS2 has a broken laser. Although I could pick up a PS2 from the thrift store I work at. Probably charge myself about 30 for that? Something like that. Scrap mechanics, man. Maybe? My default thought is no, but it's possible it's a specific thing that is like made in the vein of Incredible Machine that is pretty new, and I have seen at least a little bit of it. Yeah, I Am Bread, that's another example. Squeaky, I haven't played that one, I don't see that happening, but... yeah, Yvonne, I commented on it, yep. All the back of the days. You like Epic Battle Fantasy Blackfire? I mean, it's okay. You're allowed to like bad games. Like, I should probably be on screen for that to like have a little winning smile. You're allowed to like bad games. I occasionally like bad games. It happens. But interesting, Ritzel. That's the one. Open that tab and look at it later. I don't even know if I have Epic. I've got it rated on Congregate. Yeah, I don't have it rated on here. Lepic X. I haven't played The Witness yet. Apparently we do need a mod command for that, huh? That is the 4th time today or something, but... yeah, so Witness, I have heard pretty consistently good things. I am interested in playing it. I probably won't play it for quite some time. That's the short of that. There you go. Congregate account made in 2007. I should change my website listing to Twitch, probably, rather than my defunct t-shirt business website. Let's see, where's the Congregate rating stuff? Well, I played worse games on here, but... Where do I just see everything I've rated on here? There at least used to be a way for it to do that. Oh, nice. I don't think I ever saw this comment, actually. This was a fairly obscure little game that I found kind of randomly, and I gave them some good feedback. Apparently they actually implemented it. It's always nice when I take the time to give good feedback if someone actually, you know, listens to it. See how recently played? Not really actually played here. Oh, that's top rated in general. Blast it all! My playlist? Is that, no, okay, that's actually a playlist, not a played list. Yeah, I don't actually see the way to bring up everything I've rated on Congregate. Most of them are like 3s because they're bad, but like not completely terrible. These are all pretty cool games though. What games of these would I like actively recommend? Probably all of them actually. Of these, Action Turnip's probably the worst, but I just really liked it anyway. Oh, I don't. I thought I had it on a monitor here. There we go. Hey there, Ukari. My face is so different from my voice. Look, having a beard doesn't actually change what my voice sounds like. You prefer to watch people play bad games, Steven? I mean, there's certain amusement factors for that. If you like that, definitely follow the great Gildersleeve. He's been, he does a lot of bad game theater, showing off bad games. Thrice, Blackfire! Thrice is a stupid word, therefore I know you're full of lies. Yeah, Platform Racing 2, that was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed that game a lot. That's a really good multiplayer experience. Codex of Alchemical Engineering is essentially appropriate music on the playlist, incidentally. Essentially the precursor to Space Chem, and is similar to Space Chem in a lot of ways, and really cool. And always just cool to kind of see your machines in action. Chronotron's like a puzzle cloning sort of game. Kind of like Professor Winterbottom, I think it's called. No. Best word, maybe Conquistador. Conquistador, best word. Escape is just a cool one-button game. You're just kind of climbing up walls by hopping back and forth, and just really well executed for a one-button idea. Space Chem is brutally hard for sure, Elsnick. I mean, I can see favorites. There's gotta be some way that I can see games that that I've rated in general on Congregate. Again, these are all recently played as the closest thing, I guess. Let's see, Dojo of Death was okay. I don't know why I'm even looking at this crap. I don't even remember a lot of these. And it's really sad, like, I have to adjust my ratings for the quality of the site. Like, 4 stars is not a very good game, generally speaking, but it's well above the expected bar for a Flash game. Yeah, web game anyway. Web game. Dance of Fire and Ice. I don't think I've played that. Don't think so. Facsimile, Yvonne? I've seen that like several times. Really, that's really old, isn't it? In fact, I remember seeing that on frickin' ZDTV at one point, which was what came before Tech TV, which is what came before G4. But yeah, I actually remember seeing facsimile the closing credits of that I didn't know what it was at the time, but eventually connected that game name to it. Alright, Truth Cracker. Hi and bye again. Hmm. 0 of 5 is just not rated, I think. You have to burn the rope. I don't know why that's not rated, but So yeah, if I could bring up a list of everything on Congregate easily, then I'd know if that's a 1 or a 2. It's like, where am I drawing the bar here? Because it's really bad. Alright, well, we'll give it a 2. It's functional. It is functional. And it doesn't, like, doesn't fill me with burning rage. I don't remember... Oh, I remember that. That game was good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I remember that, and it's mediocrity. This game's actually not very good, but it specifically does one thing. Again, we've touched on a little bit earlier, a couple times, that I love in games. I did something unusual that 90 to 95% of players would never do in this game, and it recognized that I did that. Instantly, I like the game a lot more, just because of that. One thing, like, I think it was something kind of cool, actually, like, the game expects you to pick up this gun and, like, start shooting, like, zombies and stuff in most of the later levels, and I decided, no, I'm not picking up the gun, let's just see if we can avoid fighting stuff, and it's, like dialogue changed and stuff changed for that fact, and there was nothing indicating that not picking up the gun was at all a thing anybody would do. And, like, it's kind of right in front of you to pick up or whatever, but the game actually accounted for me doing it differently, and I love that. I love that so much. There's the fire dice. You can open it up, you can look at it later. It's probably gonna start, like, playing music or something, isn't it? Oh, recent updates to Chrome have made Unity games unplayable. Alright, well, it's not gonna start playing music, at least. That's a plus, I guess. Oh, that's the end of the list. That is nowhere near everything I've played or rated on Congregate, but, I feel like I had been able to bring up a list of everything played or rated at some point, but I don't see any way to do the last activity. Played a dance in Fire and Ice. Apparently, I played it by opening it up in an unplayable state. That makes sense, I guess. Oh, that was actually kind of interesting. ASCII-vania. It's an ASCII Metroidvania. It wasn't, like, exactly good, but it was kind of clever. Oh, really, Huff? It's been months. Well, this is the first I've learned of it, so apparently it hasn't affected me too badly, but, that is stupid, all the same. This is a better list of things that I've rated at least somewhat highly. Doesn't necessarily mean I remember all these. I don't remember this. This was a decent little platformer. Can't believe we're sitting here browsing Congregate games that I've played before. What are we even doing? Why? This like, why are people still watching me at this point? We're browsing games I've played on Congregate, trying to take a look at what I might have rated them. Yep, that's what we're doing. This is high level streaming experience right here. We got awesome music. That's probably enough reason to stick around for some folks, I suppose. The Room of 1,000 Snakes, and the way you say make people play, should I play a Room of 1,000 Snakes, Hoffington? It sounds scary. Yeah, I'm sure that's a lot of people, just background noise and stuff, Zombie. You want me to stream some Congregate Flash games? Well, I don't know. Am I supposed to be playing a Room of 1,000 Snakes right now? Apparently I can't do it in Chrome, though. Did I actually give that a 4? 4 is just not... It's awkward that I need to use like 1 through 3 and rating different degrees of bad, so that 4 like can be reserved for okay and 5 can be reserved for actually good. It's literally like a 5-minute game. Alright, fine, let's I don't know, let's clean some stuff up here a little bit. I guess we'll throw this on for a sec, so you can stare at me doing nothing. I'm gonna close Snakebird, which has been sitting here open for like 4 hours doing nothing. I think I've got